Can you even hear me? Let's go. Welcome everybody. We've got a lovely episode for you today. We've got a guest on. I know how you all love when we're joined by a guest. No noise. There's noise now. Chill out. Everyone calm down. Everything's fine. What's going on, everyone? Happy Monday. Oh man, I'm gonna need to change chairs already. Changing chairs. Chris, welcome. Dauntless, welcome. Gleam Guard, Neighborhood. Lindsay, welcome. Oh, Barkley, how you doing? Matt, 3 minutes late. It was about 2.5. Give me a break, will you? 2.5 minutes late. I did my first ever render clean today. My first ever proper house render clean. I've done a few retaining walls and all that sort of stuff, but today was my first house. I literally quoted it yesterday. Sort of had a sort of slight cancellation this afternoon today, and so I said I can fit you in today if you want. Accepted the price. Did the job. It's actually not too difficult. It's potentially a bit of faffing around and stuff, but it's the results were good. Evening Jed, welcome. Ordered a new machine from PWS, congrats, well done. Render cleaning is my favourite thing at the moment. This is my first one. It was great. We brushed on some hypo, 5:1. Wet down all the lead because they had the lead windows. You know, you've got the lead hatching on the windows. And then literally just rinsed with the sniper nozzle and just reapplied in a couple of places where the chemical hadn't quite done its job. But the thing was, it's painted render, so there was no super ingrained algae or anything. It was just surface level. Evening Darren. Darren's working from the shop tonight. He's having a late one building machines by the looks of it. Busy boy. Making us wait 120 seconds. Absolutely disgraceful. I know. Sorry. We've got a lovely guest tonight. We've got Joe's Jets joining us. Joe's Jets joining us. So that should be a good chat. Some cracking videos on our Instagram account. Darren gave me a deal because I came from you. Ooh. Apparently a lot of people have been mentioning my name at PWSAS as well, which is cool. Wednesday, my first limestone clean out of 3 booked in, dreading it. Oh, you don't need to dread it, mate. Just go soft. Go easy with it. You've got the information. You know what to do. Fit for Life, welcome. Don't think I've seen your name in here before. Jake, can you confirm you can clean blocks with a flat surface cleaner? Craig, that video was not evidence enough, I'm afraid. Where did you send it me? Was it on Discord? Oh, we'll let the people decide. It wasn't clear enough. I want to see a full... Was it on... Oh, it was on WhatsApp. I don't believe that you can adequately clean block paving to a high enough standard with just a flat surface cleaner. So you're telling me you did that whole job and you didn't need a turbo, apart from for the edges? Are you going to honestly tell me that? So here he is with his new baddie machine. I mean, there's a bit of moss, a couple of weeds, tiny weeds. I mean, I could get good results on that. Come on, let's be honest. Super slow. I don't know if is anyone cleaning surfaces at this pace. Is this really quicker than a turbo nozzle? Be honest, you've gone over it twice. That's 2 passes. I don't think that's clear enough for us to see what the results look like, to be honest, mate. Let's see the other video. Showing off your new machine. We love it. Skip a bit. Bit of moss, bit of chunks. Chunky chunks. Going over it again. I rinse the area to show you the gaps. I want to see it on that bit there with all the weeds. You've been very selective about the bits that you're cleaning, Craig. To be honest, mate. Go on, give it a little rinse. Little rinse. Let's have a look. Also, this is the tightest block paving imaginable. So of course there's not a lot of stuff between the joints. Come on. 9, welcome. Thanks for your comment the other day. Yeah, I don't know, mate. I don't know. I could get those results with mine. I'm talking about something with heavy moss, bigger joints. I know I'm being specific, right? But it's... I think you've been very selective about the job that you showed me there. I think we're going to have this debate for a while. 15-degree nozzles. Fair enough. Could have cleaned Buckingham Palace in the time that took to do 1 square metre. Got my Pure Seal course booked into in June. Can't wait. This is the year it really kicks off. There you go. Moving the goalposts. You are right. I am definitely moving the goalposts, but there's a reason. I don't think that counts. Needs to be proper weeds. Yeah. He still won't have it. We'll have to find a really bad one. Exactly. Yeah. First night on my holiday in the Netherlands, and what do? Tune in. Nice. Rattling. I don't think I've seen your name in the chat before. Welcome. Quotes in Discord. Weed and gaps. Right, should we bring Jo in? Should we see if she's about? I don't know if... Let's have a look. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Hello? I think you might need to unmute yourself.
Hello?
Hello. Can you hear me okay through your phone?
Hold on. Yes, I can hear you, but I can't see you.
Okay. I have got my camera turned off, that's why.
I can't see any of the comments on the YouTube stream either.
Okay. Let's have a look. I might have to put my other camera on, actually, because it doesn't like this one. Integrated camera. Can you see me?
No, I can see. Oh yeah, there you are.
There we go. Right then. I might have to tilt you back like that a little bit. Welcome.
I just can't see the comments on the YouTube
channel. Are you on? Have you clicked on the live stream on the video? If it's full screen, you might need to like change it to not full screen. Steve, you're skiing in France. Is that the picture you sent earlier in the Discord? You're actually in that place? That's crazy. Good evening, Liam. Welcome. Welcome, Bee's Knees. Joe is quiet. Okay.
I don't know. I can't see the comments. That's basically what I see.
Oh, okay. Press the X on the description at the bottom of the video. Right hand side.
Yeah.
And then can you click on comments? Oh. Turn it to me again. Press on the video. And then can you like... Oh.
More.
Guys, why can't you see the comments? Where do we... How about if you turn it landscape instead? Do the comments show up on the side?
No, it's just got a load of.
Oh, close the app down and reopen. You might have to close it.
Can you do that?
Anyway,
If I do it, I'll
welcome
probably
to the
not lose
stream.
it.
How you doing?
Yeah, I'm good. Very good. Very busy, but good.
Thank you so
How
much
about
for.
yourself?
Thanks so much for joining. By the way, no, I'm just fiddling about with my audio. Hang on, testing.
Yeah, it's all good.
Oh, that's better. Make sure it's not running in the background. Oh, I don't know. Okay. You've been at work today, haven't you? You said you had a bit of a late one.
Yeah, we didn't get in till 5ish because we worked a bit longer today with the kids, with the babysitters, as it's half term.
Nice.
So I didn't have to rush back for the school run.
You were telling me earlier you literally do the school run in the morning and then smash out as many jobs as you can and then pick the kids up from school in the afternoon.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know
And
how.
I'm pretty much running around. No, we can't get the comments up, Jake.
Oh, maybe try it on like a phone. Like, is that one of your kids with you now?
You need to get one of the kids' phones. Get Ronnie's phone.
Don't worry if you can't see the comments. It's not a big deal. But
I bet Ronnie's can. Ronnie's my boy. He's better at things like this. He does his streaming and stuff.
Nice.
The cool lad. So we'll see if it comes up on yours. Smelt pressure washing, and then on the live.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So yeah, I drop the kids to school. They're in at 9, and then straight to my first job. Try and get 2 free jobs done. That's my target.
Yeah, still can't.
Before 2:30, where I set 2:30 as the latest because that's when I have to pack up and get to the school for 3:00.
I always panic on a Thursday because I pick my boy up from school on a Thursday, and that's the day where I try not to book as much work in because I think if I'm stuck on a job and I'm not done before like 2:30, I'm screwed. He's not getting picked up from school.
Yeah, I panic every day. That is my life. Every day I'm panicking. Whereas today, George, who I work with, she said, "You were so chilled today. You were like so much better to work with." I was like, "That's because the kids were with a babysitter. I knew we didn't have to rush.
Yeah.
Hence, we didn't get in until 5:00. That's a long day for me, work until 5.
Yeah, there's a lot of people in this industry that will literally leave the house at 7 a.m. and not get back till like 5, 6 in the evening, and I that's not the life for me. That is not what.
No,
that's not why I went self-employed.
Definitely not.
How long have you been going? Because you seem fairly well established.
I started out. It'll be 3 years this May. Yeah, that's pretty much when I set it up.
What made you want to start pressure washing? And was it just pressure washing you started with?
Yeah, I'll tell you why. Because I was cleaning my nan's back garden, her composite decking with her little Bosch.
Nice
pressure washer. One setting.
Yeah.
And as I was cleaning it, I was thinking, oh, this is really like therapeutic. Just watching the grime just go. And I just sort of said out loud to her, I was like, I'd love to do this as a job. And I was a custody officer at the time.
Mm-hmm.
So I worked 12-hour shifts. And she said, why don't you do it? And I was like, oh, I don't know. And then I thought, do you know what? I'm going to actually look into it. After I spent the day cleaning her driveway and I had a bad back, I thought, I don't think I can do this as a job. But obviously, as you know, when you have the setup...
Was that with that same machine? Was it like the same little Bosch electric?
Well, that's what I was like. It was my nan's machine.
Yeah,
and I was just cleaning her. I was literally just cleaning for her in her back garden. She was like, I've got a little pressure washer in the garage. So I got that out, started doing it for her. And then I thought, yeah, I'm going to look into it. And
I can't imagine. I can't. There are a lot of people that start their business with a little electric pressure washer. And I can't imagine having to go through all that before you get like a proper machine. I always tell people that they'll say, is there like a cheap cartridge that you'd recommend to start out? And I'm like, no, avoid it at all costs. Get yourself any petrol pressure washer. It's going to be 10 times better than those little electric ones.
The first machine that I bought myself, which I'm still using now, is the Honda 21 litres per minute.
Nice.
And I have people say to me, what's it like? How different is it to the 15 litres per minute? And I said, I don't know. Because I only started with the 21 litre per minute. So I can't tell you. But the flow, and I'm smashing through jobs. So if I had anything less, I think, God, it's going to take me even longer.
The amount of people that I get in the comments saying, would you recommend this machine, or which pressure washer would you recommend? It's like, I've only had 2 myself, so I've got no experience with any of the others that are on the market, but I suppose there's a few things to look out for, isn't there, when you're buying a machine? But that's a healthy budget for your first machine, though. That's a proper bit of kit, isn't it?
I literally, Jake, I don't do things by halves. If I'm going to do something, I'm going all out for it. And I think that's why some people start this industry and they don't do well, because they're not driven enough.
Mm-hmm.
I think if you want to make a business work, you've got to be pushing everything into it. I reinvested back into the business. When I set up my business, I had my van. I got the van. I got it signed. I bought uniform. I set up a website. I set up an Instagram page, and I didn't even have a customer.
That's crazy. That to me,
genuinely,
because that is almost the opposite to what I generally tell people. And I know people have got different approaches to it and stuff, but Ryan from Curbside Cleaning said the same thing. He says, if you're going to do it, you need to 100% commit. My worry is that someone's going to 100% commit, spend thousands on a van, spend thousands on a setup, do their first job and realise, I hate this. What am I doing?
Yeah.
Or I can't market the business. I'm not a very good salesman, and just like realise they've sort of messed up. And that was my worry. That was my worry. That's why I started getting like the cheapest setup possible, just to dip my toe in the water and just see, like, do I enjoy this? Is it realistic to be able to pull in enough customers to make this like a daily job where I can actually pay the bills? And so I tell people, like, don't quit your job. Don't just go out and buy the most expensive kit because you don't have any customers yet. From my perspective, it makes more sense to just sort of build up a foundation in the background of your regular job than it does to just go all in and take the plunge. Did you just quit your job and just like go for it?
No, so I had a knee injury when I was a custody officer, and it meant that I had some time off work. And I had an MRI done. Long story short, I'd done my ACL and my meniscus. So being a custody officer, I couldn't do the control and restraint and the things that you needed to do that job. So whilst I was on the sick, I was like, what can I do? Because if they end up letting me go, if my knee is going to take too long to have surgery and repair, what am I going to do? So I started doing a little bit of pressure washing at my nan's in her garden and everything. And then what was your question?
Like, how did you just leave the job, or did you get straight into it?
Right, yeah. So I'd done a little bit of pressure washing at my nan's, and then I went onto YouTube and thought, what can I watch? Who can I learn from to see if I want to do this? So I found somebody on YouTube and I watched their videos.
Sid Partridge?
All the time. Sorry?
Sid Partridge?
No, are we name dropping? It's A.E. McIntosh.
Nice. A.E. McIntosh got some great videos.
So he was the first one that I started watching, and I literally mimicked his setup.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I went for the Honda 21 litres per minute. But I started watching all of his videos and just literally till like 2-3 in the morning, because when the kids go to bed, that's when you can. And I was just watching, learning, looking at different surfaces, different chemicals, the sanding process, everything that went with it. So I was educating myself before I took the plunge to do it.
Yeah.
Rather than just doing it and learning as you go, or taking a whim on things.
Yeah, I think I did something similar, where it's just like hundreds of hours of research before committing to anything, because I was so scared that I was gonna waste my money and buy the wrong thing or something. I think that's people's main anxiety, is buying the wrong thing. And I was my issue was trying to buy things cheap and trying to like shortcut my way to things. Like, instead of buying a big expensive carbon fiber high pressure pole for roof cleaning, I thought, oh, I'll just buy one of the little aluminium ones. That'll do. And like,
See, I'm the complete opposite to
yeah,
you. I think if I'm starting and I'm doing it, I want something that's going to make my life so easy.
yeah. It was
Um,
it's an industry that I've never been in before. I've never been self-employed. I didn't know how any of this sort of stuff worked. And so I just thought, like, if I can try and do it cheap just to get me going, and then eventually I'll upgrade. But now in hindsight, I'd still recommend that people dip their toes in the water and just make sure they enjoy the job first and make sure they can market themselves first. But you really do get what you pay for when it comes to the equipment in this industry. I think you buy cheap equipment and it just won't last, or it won't do the job
yeah.
that you want it to do anyway.
And I also think sometimes people watch the videos and they think, oh, that looks really nice, watching the grime go, that's really satisfying. I could do that. But when there's parts of the video that I don't show everything on there, but I don't show when I'm shoveling up 7 bags of muck
Yeah.
and my face is covered and I'm absolutely just in the mess of it all. I show the video, the flat surface cleaner, the lance going along, and that's what people love watching. But actually, it is full on.
Yeah, it's a bit of a shock on your first couple of jobs when you think. Firstly, I didn't think it was going to take this long. Secondly, I didn't think I was going to get this dirty. I didn't think I was going to get everything else this dirty, like that you have to rinse down afterwards. Hopefully you don't get any drainage issues, because that just, you lose the will to live as soon as areas start flooding. Have you had any like bad floods or anything?
Oh, yeah. I've now had 2 mudsuckers. One of them's better than the other one. But I've been in situations where I thought I just want to cry.
Yeah.
I don't know what to do. That's before I got the mudsucker. And I'm just trying to sweep water away, blast water away that's just coming back. One of the first few jobs, when the first year, it pulled so much I thought I'm going home and I'm coming back the next day when it's dry and I'm going to clean it up then, because I thought I can't do anything.
Why have you got 2?
Now I wouldn't do that.
Why have you got 2 mudsuckers?
So I got the tube one.
Yeah.
That's a nice thick one. It can't kink. It sort of, it just connects to the end of the lance. You can point it exactly where you want to go. And then I've got the 15 meters blue reel that's flat, that sort of can kink, and you have to sort of lay it across the floor.
Like a lay flat hose? Like a fireman's hose?
Yeah.
And that connects to a mudsucker?
No, I call it a mudsucker, is it not? It just connects to the end of my lance.
Oh, does it? Yeah.
Yeah, I literally just connect. So it's got the blue hose that lays flat.
Yeah.
And then at the end of it, it's got the quick release thing that clips into my quick release on the lance.
Yeah, and it sort of fires the jet back up into the hose.
So it siphons, So as the water blasts through, it siphons all the muck, stones.
Yeah, so that's a
everything.
mudsucker. I didn't realise you could get those with like the lay flat hose. Is it the same attachment on both that goes on the end of the lance?
Yeah.
Have you ever
found...
the
blue one's my newest one.
Have you ever found that the cast piece that goes into the end of the lance, it's too wide to go into those like drains and stuff, to go into the the ACO drains that go along the bottom of the garage and stuff?
Do you know, I haven't actually put it in there.
They're ever so slightly too wide to get into those little...
Yeah, I can imagine that now you've said that.
It's very frustrating.
But I've never had to put it in there, so I would, if there was just pulling.
That's my only issue with it. I'm thinking about grinding the corners off so I can get it in a little bit better. I noticed you were doing some sealing the other day. How are you getting on with that? Have you been sealing since you started, or have you only just started dabbling?
Pretty much since I started offering that, because I looked into it and realised that actually it's not as hard as I thought it would be.
Did you start offering it because your customers were asking, or just because you wanted to offer that as a service?
Because they asked.
Yeah, that's the only reason I started doing sealing, is because people kept asking me about it. And I was like, I don't really want to get involved with that just yet, but there's a lot of demand
when they started
for
asking,
it.
I was thinking I wouldn't even know how much litres I would need, but now obviously I know, measure out the job,
Yeah.
work it out, sort of how many litres, and I've got a couple of different sprayers because I used to use when I was first sealing the watering can method and the
Really?
squeegee.
Wow. Oh, how does on block paving?
Yeah.
How does that work? Does that work, or does it chuck sand everywhere?
It is messy, but you've got to make sure the sand is obviously completely in the joins
Yeah.
of the blocks, not sit any on the surface at all.
Yeah.
And the annoying thing about it is you've got the rose head on the watering can, but as you're like that, some of it is hitting the sand and moving it.
Yeah. Yeah, because it's falling and it's like splashing against the sand and moving it about.
To be honest, I hated doing it that way.
Right.
And then it was somebody else in the industry said, "Why aren't you doing it with a sprayer?" And I thought, I would want to get a sprayer and put all that block paving, like the polyurethane and all the sealant through my new sprayer.
Yeah.
And then they said, obviously, how you can clean it and keep it nice. And so I got I just went straight for the Chapin.
Yeah, you got the Chapin 1949, is it?
Yeah, that's the one.
The red one.
Yeah.
And then you've got the silver. Is it an IK or is that a Chapin as well?
No, now my favourite one is the Gloria 4T.
Right. Why is that better?
Yeah. Oh, it just feels more like the wand. It feels more sturdy. Everything feels. And I've been pumping before on the Chapin, and I think they had a bad batch, to be honest, because since they sent me out a new one, it's been okay. But I've filled up with sealant. I've pumped a couple of times, and my tin, the I don't know, the metal
canister,
it just popped a hole, and it was just like firing through the Chapin sprayer. And I thought, no, what the hell? I'm on a, like, it was just spraying the sealant out.
Which one did you say you've got? The Gloria 410T?
Gloria 4T. 4T, yeah. It's really sturdy. It just feels stronger. And
I might have to look into that then. Gloria.
oh, it's brilliant. If you've had one of them, you won't.
Is it the 10 litre one that you've got?
Yeah.
I might have to have a look at that because I've literally just broke my sprayer the other day. Like I was trying to take the nib off the end. Tried to take the little nib off the end, the jet, and I twisted the whole like brass arm, and the whole end of my wand is like that.
Yeah, I saw that. That's the one. It's so sturdy. You'll see what I mean when you get it.
It looks
nothing
better.
Flimsy about it. It's when you take your hand off the lever, it stops. Whereas I don't know if you notice with the red one, sometimes you can release it and it's still squirting.
Yeah.
And it's just annoying. Whereas that one, it's really just feels really sturdy when you've got the trigger there. And
see, I look at that. I even thought the Chapin that I bought was like expensive. I think I paid 189 quid for that one. I thought, bloody hell, why am I paying 189 quid for a little sprayer? And so looking at that for 260 quid, I'm like, I don't know if I could do it, but I suppose if you're doing enough sealing, it's worth it, isn't it?
Yeah. Even I use that I don't just use it for sealing. I use that for putting down biocide.
Oh, do you?
For other things. I've got the gardener backpack, which I use for like synergy and stuff like that if I'm doing cladding or but I use that quite a lot, the sprayer.
Is that a metal one or is it a chemical resistant sprayer? Galvanized steel. Oh, it is metal.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I've just bought from Pure Seal, I've just bought an IK sprayer, and it's an IK Alk. And that's just mainly for like it is mainly for like alkalines because it's called the ALK. So I bought this for just spraying hypo and like biocide and stuff, but I could have probably just got the other one that you've got and done sealer, hypo, biocide, everything through that one.
I do everything in it. Yeah.
Oh damn it! That's that cost me about 78 quid. That did. Damn it.
Yeah, I've not seen that one, but No, I wouldn't use a different one now. I've used that Gloria.
How are you finding are you full time now doing this?
Yeah.
And did you go straight into it full time? Because we didn't really finish that story. Did you literally just not go back to your old job and just get going?
Yeah, long story short, with the old job, they ended up. I was off work sick for a year because I was waiting for the doctors to give me a surgery date. I couldn't go back to work, and so I started doing it in that time whilst I was off sick. And what did I do? I put on my social medias that I'm going to be doing. I'm starting pressure washing business, and I will do friends and family for basically pittance, next to nothing. And when I look back and think what I charged and what job I done, I think, oh my god! But that got me started. That got me my pictures. I was doing I'd done a driveway for one of my good friends, £60, things like that. And it was a large 3-car driveway. But for me, it was just I was finding my way with it. So you say you dipping your toe in before you get it all. Although I'd got all the equipment, I was doing my friends and family
I think that's the
my
way
new
to do
equipment.
it. That it's got to be the way to do it, because it feels almost disingenuous doing your first test on an actual paying customer. It makes the most sense to just do it on friends and family first. Get all your before and after pictures for your social media, and then
then you get your reviews as well.
Yeah.
They write, and then they tell their friend, or while you're there, the neighbour sees you.
Yeah.
But actually, you're just sort of starting out, and you don't even know how to price a job yet. And the neighbour's like, "Oh, can you do mine?" And it's like, "Oh," but I've sort of found my way like that.
Yeah. Did you go straight into the social media? I know you said you got a website in the beginning. Do you think the website? They've probably both helped, but do you think the website has been more beneficial than your social media, or do you think the other way around?
I think my social media definitely took off. Well, then I've got the sign written van. So the reason I had to get the website and everything straight away was because I'd booked the van in to be signed. So I thought, I want everything on it. I don't want to have to take the van back and then say, now can you add this? Now can you add that? So I was like, oh, the van's booked in next week to be signed. I need a website.
Yeah.
So found somebody online, saw it, and then I was like, oh my god, I need a proper work email. I don't want at outlook.com written on my van. I want it to be a proper email. And so I set up the info@joesjets.co.uk. Just so it looked just really professional.
So what do you think, if you were to rate them, what do you think what brings in you the most work? Would you say that it's your van or your website or your social media or word of mouth? What do you think brings in the most customers?
I would probably say word of mouth and Facebook ads.
You do Facebook ads?
Oh yeah, I spend about probably about £200 a month.
That's interesting.
Easy on Facebook ads.
And can you track it?
And the way I see it is, I will go straight on. I will find the location that I want to target, the area that I want to target. I'll put in. I really sort of pinpoint who I want to target.
Keywords and
so
stuff.
I'll say sort of between 25 and obviously elderly, them sort of people. Which areas I cover. What other things in there? I choose all the sort of categories that I think I want to target.
How you want them to contact you.
And then I go, right, I want this ad to be on for 15 days. I want it to be on Facebook, WhatsApp, Instagram. You choose your settings on there. Yeah. And then it will come up in dollars, because obviously it's American, and it will come to about £150 or £100.
Yeah.
Because I run 2 a month over 15 days.
Sorry, 2 seconds. Thank you so much.
That's okay.
Thank you.
Little monkey.
What are you doing awake, girly? Do you want to come say hi to Joe? No, he's scared. Why are you awake?
Itchy hands. Don't put cream on them.
Oh, okay.
Because of the fish juice.
The fish juice? Why has she got fish juice?
She was making the dinner with Mum.
Oh yeah, fish pilaf dinner. Thank you so much.
Okay, come on, Mars.
So you're doing that? Are you just presetting that every month, or are you changing the areas like every month?
No, I pretty much keep, once I've set my target audience on there, I use that every time. So when I want to boost, if I do a good post or there's a good video on there, I think, oh, I'll boost that one. And then I just allocate it to my target, my audience that I've already set, and boost it again, boost a post. So then I pay about £100 to £150 per ad that I put on. And whenever anyone contacts me, I always say, "How did you hear about me?"
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah, I always say that. And they say, I saw your ad on Facebook, saw your sponsored ad. Which sponsored ads come up everywhere on Facebook. They come up in the marketplace. My mum's always screenshotting, going, "I can just see you here." I'm like, cheers, mum.
That's cool.
So yeah, I do it like that. And the way I see it is, I know some people might think, oh, £150, £200 a month on Facebook ads, but if that brings in one customer, that could be paid for from that one job.
I think Craig in the chat spends something like £25 a day on Facebook ads, or something crazy. But the conversion rate, it pays for itself. But I think,
do you know what though? Sometimes I'm like, oh, I've not really had any messages this weekend. I've not really had people messaging me. And then I go on my ad and it ran out 3-4 days ago, and I think, I haven't got an ad running.
Yeah.
And then I run another ad, and then boom, the next weekend I've got all the messages coming.
I tried to boost one Facebook post. It's the only one I've ever done. And my bank flagged it as suspicious activity because it was like taking £12 out of my bank every day, and it was like, no, we've got to stop that. And so I just realised my ads hadn't been running. I was like, okay, that didn't really work, did it? Do you think my issue with Facebook ads for new businesses is, my fear is that they're going to spend all this money boosting posts on Facebook. Your potential customer's going to click on the ad, and then it's going to take them to your page, and you've got no reviews and like no content. And I think that could potentially be quite a big waste of money. But for yourself, being fairly well established, like at what point did you start investing money into like boosting Facebook posts and stuff?
Pretty much straight away.
Really?
But it started out with, I'd do £20 to do an ad for a week, or I was budgeting myself very low. So running the ads, because you can turn up how many people you want it to search to cover.
Yeah.
So that was quite low. So then the daily amount that I was setting it for was quite low. So I was paying probably £50 back then, like 3 years ago, as opposed to £200 now.
And was it still effective? Not as effective, but was it still effective?
Yeah, I think it was, because I'm quite consistent with my social media. So everything I do, no matter the size of the job or what the job is, I'm there online every day, showing up, and then I post it on my personal Facebook. I post it on my Joe's Jets Facebook, my Joe's Jets Instagram, my Joe's Jets TikTok, my personal Instagram, my personal TikTok, the odd one I put on my personal TikTok. So I'm showing everywhere, so a lot of my friends can see and remind them what I'm doing, and also my followers on my Joe's Jets page.
I have noticed that about you. You're very consistent with your uploads, and you're not just doing before and after pictures. You're doing a lot of videos as well, which I think people resonate with. I find very interesting.
I do get a lot of people say like, "Oh, I've been watching you for a while. Your videos are amazing." And saying keep up what you're doing. You're really doing your work well on your social medias, and I think people.
Oh.
Just had a call coming. I've tried to cut it off, but
no, that's all right. I thought we lost you for a minute then. Yeah, I think I think this is the new. I mean, it's not a new form of marketing, but I think this is the way that people should be marketing services businesses. I just think it's so effective, and it's free. you're doing the job anyway, so you might as well be filming it, and then you take 5 or 10 minutes to put a few clips together and post it, and it really does set you apart from like 90% of other people doing this sort of work.
Yeah, it's just part of my routine now. I think I just pull up as soon as I get out of the van, the phone comes out, the camera goes on, and it's morning, guys. Whatever day of the week it is, here I am. Quick show 'em. So I'm not really. It's not really using me extra time because I'm just doing it as I'm going. I'm grabbing the hose as I'm walking to the tap, as I'm filming, and I'm just.
Did you find that was natural? Because I think a lot of people don't do it because they don't like being in front of a camera or they don't like the sound of their voice.
Yeah, I think it probably I do feel quite natural with it. I don't care what people think, and I think you've got to have that sort of. Just do it. Your friends might think, "Oh God, see them on Facebook," but I just think I don't care what people think. I'm promoting my business. I enjoy what I do, and I'm showcasing my work, and I'm doing well for it. So, yeah, I just think be confident with it.
That was the main thing when I started my business. You've just like hit the nail on the head there, because one of the biggest things for me was I was worried about what my friends from school were going to think that I've got on Facebook, and thinking like I don't want to fail, I don't want to look stupid, I don't want to talk to the camera because they're going to think, oh, what's he doing? Like, there's a bit cringe in it. And I'm thinking, I haven't seen these people for over 10 years. Why do I care what anyone thinks? Like, it. And then I listened to a podcast that said something along the lines of, if that's most of the things that you want to do but won't allow yourself to do is because you're scared of what someone else is going to think. Yeah. And most of those people aren't in your life. You don't necessarily care about them. You don't respect their opinion. And so why are you worrying about what they think? And it was the thing when my sister started her business and she started doing a bit of TikTok and stuff. She started an interior cleaning business. And she said, oh, I don't want to do videos and stuff, because she said she'd love to do what I do. But she said, oh, I don't like the sound of my voice and stuff. And then the first video she did on TikTok about this is my journey, like I'm starting a new cleaning business and stuff, absolutely blown up. And loads of people are commenting saying like they're supporting her and that this is great, like well done for having the confidence to leave your job and do this instead and provide for your kids and stuff. And it's like, people love this stuff. People love the story. People love to follow someone who's trying to better themselves.
Well, people are nosy, aren't they? They want to see what you're doing. And I think, and naturally we all are. When someone does a video and they're talking, we're all like, oh, what are they doing then? We all want to have a little look. So, yeah. And I think nothing really happens in your comfort zone. You've got to get out of your comfort zone.
That's so true. That is so true.
And the minute you make yourself feel a little bit uncomfortable, the more you repeat that and do it, the more it just becomes natural. And
yeah, 100%. Yeah, if you're comfortable, you're not pushing yourself.
Yeah, that's it. It just becomes natural. But at first, I know what you mean. It is at first, it's a bit daunting, thinking, oh God, I've got to talk to the camera. But I don't see it as just talking to the camera. I just see it as I'm talking to my audience. I'm talking to my customers that are going to book in with me. I don't see it as I'm just talking to myself. I'm talking to the camera. I'm showing people what I'm doing. And if they want that done, you can see me do it.
Yeah. Were you doing that from the very beginning, or did you learn that through like Macintosh and stuff?
I literally started at the very beginning doing videos, pictures, videos. I think mainly pictures at the beginning. Mainly I'd take a picture of that, and then once it was done, I'd take a picture of that, put them together on a frame. So yeah, my first bits of my sort of Instagram were just sort of before and afters. Although I didn't really post many videos on my actual Instagram, it was mainly my story. But I've started doing the reels on there now.
I think there was a big shift a couple of years ago when TikTok blew up. Short form stuff was being pushed a lot more on social media and on YouTube. There was like, it literally happened overnight where suddenly YouTube were pushing shorts, Facebook was pushing reels, and like over regular posts and over long form content, you'd be that's all you'd see on your feed was reels and stuff. And so
Right.
if anyone caught that wave of like just starting their business or just started posting reels and things, they're probably doing very well for themselves now. But a lot of people missed it, and now everyone's posting reels and stuff. But
yeah, I think I definitely started with just the pictures, the before and afters, but on my story would be me doing a video.
I don't do. I haven't done stories up until recently. I never really saw the point in them because they just disappear, and I'm like, oh, that's all that content just sort of gone. But people love to see what you're up to just on a daily basis, I think.
Yeah, that's it.
And it's not good
Yeah,
enough.
I'm always doing my stories.
It's not like curated enough for a video, but it's just like, here's what we're doing today, sort of thing. And it's like, my stories, I've got like 700 to 1,000 people watching every story, and that seems wild to me. I didn't think you could generate an audience just from stories.
Yeah, see, that's amazing. You must have a big following.
It's wild. It's and some of the stories do better than like my reels and stuff, which is very weird.
Because the stories are just all at the top, aren't they?
True.
And
yeah.
when I go on Instagram, I don't scroll through my Instagram. I literally go, oh, so my friend's done it. What they've been doing today? Watch their little story.
Yeah.
And then it goes on to the next one, and then I think, oh, what's my mum up to? Oh, see her little story. And yeah, I just start at the stories at the top.
It's interesting how different people use the platforms, I suppose. Have you found that so you're doing TikTok and stuff as well?
Yeah.
Do you get much work through TikTok, or is it mainly just Instagram and Facebook?
A few people have said they found me on TikTok. Recently, a lady said she typed in pressure washing and I came up. And that's why I always think it's always still worth using all of the platforms, because you just don't know who's going to see it.
Yeah.
But so yeah, now and again I'll get somebody say, "Oh, yeah, I saw your video on TikTok."
Yeah. And are you offering? Is it mainly pressure washing, or are you doing do you do windows, or do you do?
Well, this is the thing. When I started setting up the pressure washing, people were saying, "What are you going to do in the winter?" And I was like, "Well, I don't know. I'll figure that when I get there." Sort of thinking there'd still be pressure washing jobs for me to do. It'd be fine. But it really does go quiet in the winter. I still had, even up until Christmas, now I might get a commercial job come in or something come in, and I think, oh yeah, that would do me good because it's not freezing temperatures yet, and I can get out and I can do that. But as you know, it does quieten down. People don't want their deckings, patios, driveways. You can't really stand it. And
after September, we find it just drops off a cliff.
Yeah, I still do sort of a few. Yeah, it does drop off a cliff, but I still do a few jobs sort of October, a little bit November. December is just pretty quiet. So my first winter that I hit, I was like, whoa, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? So I added on window cleaning.
Okay.
Which I still do, but by the way, I hate.
Interesting, right?
I hate it.
That's a hot take. That's a hot take that my viewers haven't heard before.
So I added on the windows. I went to, can't remember the guy's name, but had a pump fitted in my van. I went online where what was it, Gardner?
Yeah.
I bought so I bought the GX. Oh, I can't remember the name of the pole. But again, I went for a nice light one, carbon fibre.
SLX.
Yes, that's the one.
Yeah.
Only does up to 2 stories. I think mine is.
Like a 27, SLX 27 or something, or like a 22 maybe.
Yeah, maybe one of them. Can't remember. So I started out. So I've got the 2 tanks in the van. Got the pump. Got my window cleaning pole. Started watching some window cleaning videos. Started thinking, oh god, I've got that brush, but now I'll get that brush as well, because that's for different windows and different frames and stuff, and that's for gutters. And so I added on the windows the first winter, and then I said that I'll also clean up fascias and gutters. So I started showing a bit of that.
How do you find that work? Fascias and soffits and stuff. Is that?
Yeah, it's
I find that really hard work personally.
I prefer a bungalow.
Yeah,
Not gonna lie.
I think that's some of the hardest, least rewarding work you can do in exterior cleaning, other than windows.
This is why I don't like it, because I think I've got to drive around doing windows. No disrespect to window cleaners, because obviously I am one as well, but all day driving here, there, and everywhere, or I can just go and do 2 or 3 jobs, and I'm satisfied with what I get. But otherwise, I've got to drive around all day, and pulling out that hose reel, driving around the corner, getting the hose reel out again. I just find it really tedious. And
So how are you finding? Do you have a round? Do you have a window cleaning round, or do you just do one-off cleans?
no, I have a round. So I try not to take on any more. So don't, if anyone's watching this, don't message me to do your windows.
I don't think our customers are watching this.
I know. Just don't know how far this is going to go. So I have my regulars sort of every 4 weeks, 6 weeks, and 8 weeks. They're quite understanding this time of year because I can't always get their bang on 4 weeks. Sometimes it's 5 weeks, sometimes it's 6 weeks. But I do. They are quite understanding. But this is why I want to get a second van now, so that I can get somebody else this time of year that will go out and do some windows and some gutters and stuff for me, because I'm so full on with the pressure washing.
I was going to say,
and that's where my heart is. That's what I set up. That's what I really enjoy.
This is my whole thing of like, if you start a window cleaning round, because it's like the bread and butter and it keeps the money rolling in, but your passion is the pressure washing stuff and the exterior cleaning. As soon as pressure washing season's around the corner, you're going to get so busy, and I don't know how people would maintain a window cleaning round.
Not if you're as busy as probably you and I are with pressure washing. You can't keep on top of the windows as well. It is hard, and I like having my weekends with the children. I could think, I'll do a Saturday every week and just go and bosh out all the windows, but I don't want to do that. I don't want to have to give up my weekends with my kids to go and do that. So I just try and fit them in here and there. If I've got an easier day where I've got a deck in and a small patio, then I think, I'll go and do 5 window cleans after that, because I'm in Worthing anyway, wherever I am. So I sort of fit them in as and when. So the customers don't have an exact day and exact time that I'm coming. They're pretty flexible. They know I'll be there.
That's good. That's a good way of doing it.
Yeah, so I can't do it like that. And then, so I was doing that, and then I thought, winter just gone, I'm going to get a gutter vac.
You got a big one, ain't
By the way, I don't like that either.
Do you not?
I do it.
Do you get up the ladders? Do you get
No, I don't use ladders.
No. So you do.
So I went for the You got
the GVS 3600, I think, haven't you?
3 motors on it.
Yeah. So how can you be sort of confident that you're clearing the gutters if you're not sort of checking it with a ladder afterwards?
Got the camera fitted on the top.
Have you? Okay.
And it's linked onto my phone. So, and what I do is we go in pairs. So I've got Jordan with me, got the phone. I can clip it onto the pole, but I don't want to be, I'm kind of like that, just going along.
I found that difficult to look down while doing that. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah,
it's not like ergonomic, is it?
Feels weird.
Yeah.
So I wasn't looking at the device because I'm like this, sort of making sure that I'm still in the gutter, not catching the tiles and stuff like that. So I just treat it as a 2-man job. She'll say, yeah, all clear that end. And then I say, snap a picture. She gets the picture so I can show the customer.
So she just does it on the phone, snaps a picture on the phone.
Yeah.
That's a good way of doing it, actually.
And then I always make sure that I get the camera right above the downpipe to get a picture of that all clear. And then once the job's done, I can then send the customer the picture before and after of their gutters so they know it's all clear. There's times where I think I wish I had a roof rack and I wish I had a ladder, because there's times that I am with that pole in the air trying to get a whole flower bed out of a gutter that's wet, that's sopping, that's stuck, that's probably been there so long where the gutters haven't been as maintained. And I am literally all my weight up and down that, trying to get that to dislodge from the gutters, and it's hard. And I think if I just had a ladder, because I haven't got a roof rack, I haven't got a ladder, and I swore that I wouldn't get ladders, and that's why I wanted to work from the ground. And I persevere and I get it clear, but it might take me 40 minutes.
Yeah.
And I think if I just had a ladder, I could just get up there and take that bit out, but I'll just stay focused trying to get it out. And then I can go to another job that's just straight through.
Yeah, some of them are easy and some of them are horrible, aren't they? Wizard of Wash says, what camera do you use, Joe?
I told you, didn't I? If anyone asks questions about what I've got. So I've got this little...
Oh, good to vacuum systems. Nice.
I don't know. It's a... I'm going to show you. See? It's got a little bit here on the back.
Is that the camera from Gutter Vacuum Systems as well?
Yes.
Okay.
So it says on it, Cam Park, ultra high definition 4K.
Nice. Do you find that you ever have any connection issues when it's up so high?
Yeah, that's an issue.
I think their new one, I think they were advertising it, and they specifically mentioned the range. I think it was like a 20-meter range or something on it, which is a little bit further, I think.
So it's their camera then? It's not my signal? I didn't know if it was my phone causing that to do that.
It's either the receiver in the phone or the transmitter in the camera. I'm not sure which, but it's an issue because it's either Wi-Fi or Bluetooth, and I think it's Wi-Fi, and Wi-Fi range is only as far as Wi-Fi range, and so unless you've got like a really good like a signal booster or transmitter or whatever, then you're very limited, and if you're cleaning at height, as soon as you put the extra pole on, you potentially disconnect, and it's a bit of a nuisance.
Sometimes we have that problem, and I'm like, just quickly snap the picture, quick.
Yeah.
And she just quickly tries to do it, and then we get the camera back down, we have to connect it again, get it back up. Once it's all clear, then it's like, snap the picture. As long as I've got the picture when it's clear, then I'm good to go.
Are you using like carbon fibre poles, or have you got the aluminium ones?
No, carbon fibre.
How'd you find those? If you were to give an honest review of your carbon fibre poles, because I got some from CleanLink the other day, and I've not used them yet. I've only ever used aluminium ones, because I'm worried. I was always worried about like the longevity of a carbon fibre pole if it starts to fray or break or whatever.
Well, I only got mine in the winter, just gone.
Mm-hmm.
So I've only used mine, I don't know, not obviously for years, only for a couple of months. And I think they're pretty cool. I think it's really light.
Super light, nice and stiff.
Yeah, it's got a little bit of a sort of a bend, so it's not so rigid. Solid.
Yeah.
No, I think it's fine.
Have you got the clamped ones, or are they the push fit ones?
Push fit.
Okay. And do you ever have any issues getting them apart, or do they ever scratch when you've got like debris in between the poles and stuff? Because that's my main concern, is that how long it's going to last.
If you look after your equipment will look after you. So I don't stick it all away and leave it full of moss and muck and crap, and then expect to go out and use it again.
Yeah.
Because it's not going to be, they're not going to stick together as well. So no, so when I get home, I just get a hose, just spray through each pole, leave it upright so it all just dries, chuck it back in the bag once it's all dry.
Do you know about sucking water through? Do you know about that?
Yes, I think, I have seen that actually.
So at the end of every job, if you just fill a small bucket of water, turn the vacuum on and suck. Obviously, empty your vacuum first and clear that out so you've not got loads of sludge in it. But if you fill a bucket of water and suck it through the poles, your poles will be immaculate. And your hose...
What about that?
You might find that your hose starts to get a bit heavy. And if there's no real good way of cleaning it out other than sucking a fresh bucket of water through, and it clears out that hose instantly.
Yeah, that's a good thing to remember actually. Because sometimes I get it all back in the van, I get home and I think, right, I'll get all the poles out, and spray them all out.
Yeah, nuisance.
That's.
What would you say is the best purchase you've made, other than probably your pressure washer? What do you think the next bit of kit that you bought is like the one that's made you the most money, or that's been the most versatile, or that you've most enjoyed using? You know what I mean?
I love my XJet
Okay, nice.
because I started out with a watering can on driveways, putting chemical down and then brushing it all in. So my XJet, I love that, and I use it most jobs that every job that I'm applying chemical, I get my XJet out.
On your profile, it says that you are City and Guilds certified. Is that because have you done like a biocide course?
Yes, it's the Pure Seal. Hold on, let me just back up.
I think I know the one you mean. Yeah.
It's the Pure Seal online professional user of biocides. I'll have it framed in my little area.
Nice! Look at that.
So yeah, I think I paid £150. Don't quote me on that.
Is it the online course?
Yeah, just on the online.
I haven't done that one because I did the Pure Seal in-person course. But would you recommend the online the biocide course?
Definitely. I think it's definitely I mean, I don't retain lots of information, and the thing I like about it is you can always go back on there and have a look.
Right.
It's not like you've done it and you've finished, like an exam at school or anything like that. It's always there. I'll say it's always there. I haven't been back on there for a while, but when I first done it, it was I could go back on and reread. Oh, what was that biocide?
Yeah.
And sort of different things. So yeah, I actually really enjoyed, and I found it really beneficial. And just covering yourself with things. Not getting slack with health and safety and things, and just silly things that I learnt on there. Just even like things like a drum tap.
Oh yeah.
So instead of tipping 25 litres of hypo into anything, because I don't carry the big 25 litres of hypo when I'm XJetting, because I'd break my arm and I'm not strong enough. So I tip what we're using into a 5 litre. And then add my boost into that. I
could really do with one of them. You know, when you open that tap, does it glug out or does it come out quite nicely?
It depends if there's air in the, sort of like when you tip the bottle, and then it comes out nicely, and then it starts sort of glugging. So I tip the bottle back up, let it,
right,
and then lay it back down. But just for even like health and safety, not having to bend your back lifting 25 litres and I'll just do this straight into a 5 litre,
nice and simple
container.
Yeah, I could do with some of them because I'm forever
just silly things like that, which was I saw on there, which made my life easier.
And how early on did you get into using chemicals? Because generally the path is you buy your pressure washer, you start doing jobs, and then you come across one that's got some real bad black spots, and you think, okay, how do I sort this? And then you start looking into chemicals. Or did you do enough research where you just jump straight into?
Yeah, I pretty much, I mean, I didn't know all suppliers and stuff like that. When I first started, I was going straight on Amazon, buying my hypo on there, which was probably the more expensive way. I was even buying my sand on there when I first started.
On Amazon?
I think it was Amazon.
Really?
Somewhere like that.
Are you getting it like delivered by the pallet, or you just enough for what you needed?
No, just enough for one job. I would go and do when I was doing I put on Facebook that I do 10 family and friends. And then I had loads of people saying, oh, can you do mine? Can you do mine? Can you do mine? So I was like, picked my 10, and then I was like, well, actually, I'll add them on now. And then I messaged the other people. And so I was ordering sand. I'm sure it was Amazon when I first started only for sort of like a couple of weeks, and then I was like, well, there's got to be a cheaper way of doing this. And then I think it was Jordan's uncle said, why don't you go down to Travis Perkins and find out. So then I started going to Wix first, actually, which I think I was paying something like £7.
Yeah, £7.80 now, I think, at Wix. You get like a 10% trade discount, but it's still not Travis Perkins prices, is it?
Yeah, I had the discount, and then I thought, right, I'll go down to Travis Perkins now, let them know what I was spending at Wix, see what they can offer me. And you won't even believe what I get for a sand now. How much do you pay for sand?
We're paying £3.45 plus VAT, I think. What are you paying? Oh God.
Hang on. I've got a receipt here, so I can tell you exactly. £2.61.
£2.61.
And every time I go in there and buy sand, so I bought 8 bags on my last visit with VAT, £25.
Oh, I don't think
And
that.
every time I go in there, if I go into a different Travis Perkins up the road to the one that I normally go to, they go, "Cool, that's cheap."
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what they said it at. Leave it alone.
I don't think they like me very much down at my local one, because some of them are absolutely useless. The blokes that work there, but
They're so moody, aren't they?
oh, they're so grumpy. And I walk in and they know me, they recognise me because I'm in there all the time.
And they hide because they know you want all the kiln sand.
Well, they put it through the till and charge me full price. I'm like, have you done that at my normal price? What's your normal price? And I'm like, £3.45 plus that, I think. Oh, we don't do. It's not that cheap. You can't have it that cheap. I'm like, you say this every time, but like that's the price I always have it at. And he's like,
So they not set you on their system?
They said they were gonna set it, and the guy had to send like the quote form to head office or something, and he's just never sent it. And so now I have to check the price every single time as they put it through the till, and they're all so grumpy about it that they all sort of say like, oh, we can't do that cheap, can't do that cheap. I'm like, you do it that cheap every time, like the other guy does it that cheap. Why are you pretending like you've got any authority about how cheap you do it? You need to get them
to set it. I don't even have. I literally go in Joe's Jets, give my postcode, they type it up. How many bags? 8 bags, £25.
Yeah,
it's and then they go, "Oh, that's cheap. Well, you get sand cheap here, didn't you?" And I go, "Yeah, it's what they said it at. Leave it alone."
yeah.
Pay, and off I go.
Yeah, I need to have another word with him. Craig pays he pays £3.08 including VAT. I'm going to renegotiate. Yeah, I mean, the fact that everyone seems to pay a slightly different price, they just make it up as they go along, don't they? It depends who you get.
Yeah.
It depends who serves you, I suppose. Yeah.
Well, mine's set on that, and it always has been now. So if they change it, I will be like,
yeah,
scraping my heels about it.
Is there any? There's a lot of people probably watching this that are either just starting out in the industry or thinking of starting. If you could give like a bit of advice, could be one thing, could be a couple of things. What do you think is the most important part that's made your business successful? Do you think? I'm putting you on the spot here, aren't I?
Couple of things then. I always do what I say I'm going to do. So if I say to the customer I'm going to come along on that day, I'll go there on that day. I don't like to overpromise and not deliver. So, and I think I get a lot of that when people give me reviews. They say very reliable, showed up when she said, and things like that. And I think people are so used to out there just having people say they're going to be there or they're going to do something and then not, and just being let down. So, keep the customer happy, I think. And go better, above and beyond when doing a job. I'll do a job, but in my mind, I don't think it's good enough. So I'm really picky. I really like to get it as best I can. It's not until I look back at the before pictures I think actually that was good enough. That's really good.
Do you always feel that like, oh, the customer's probably watching, they probably think I'm doing a shit job, and I'm constantly doubting myself like that. And then you speak to them at the end, and they're absolutely buzzing. They're over the moon with what you've done. I'm like, why do I think like that? Though. Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes even when I finish, I think, oh, could have done better on that bit. And then when they come out and they're like, wow, this is amazing. Yeah. And I think, oh, phew. Yeah. and they're happy.
Yeah, that's the worst thing. That's something when you start to get busier. That's the hardest thing to maintain. When you're quiet, it's very easy to be reliable and to follow up and to, I suppose, turn up when you say you're going to turn up, and don't forget to go and do that quote and all that sort of stuff. But I'm finding now that I'm getting a lot busier, I am starting to miss stuff, and it's very annoying for me because I've built the foundations of my business are Jake is reliable. He turns up when he says he's gonna. And like every so often, I'll forget to go and quote a job. I've put it in the calendar, and I'll still forget to go.
But then you've got to remember as well, we are all human, and there is going to be. I'm not saying I'm perfect, and that doesn't ever happen with me. The odd time it does, and I think, oh, what? And I kick myself, and I think, how did I miss that?
Yeah.
But with me, I think where I get messages like yourself, you get texts, you get WhatsApp, you get contacted through your email, you get contacted through. So if you open that message and you're not ready to reply, I hate it.
Yeah.
I think I can't open that message until I know that I've got my diary because they've said, yes, please book me in.
Mm-hmm.
I can't open that message because unless I've got my diary here now,
yeah,
I'm not going to be replying.
I find that I don't read stuff unless I can reply.
Yeah.
And now I've started diverting everyone through the contact form on my website because I'm getting messages from here, there, and everywhere. And then sometimes I'm replying, and then a day later they'll reply back, and I forget the conversation. And it's like, right now, if someone contacts me for a quote, copy and paste the message. Please go through my website, fill out the contact form. It saves all the back and forth of asking for their address, their postcode, and any pictures, their phone number. It saves all that back and forth, and they just fill in the contact form on my website. And then all I'm doing is checking my emails and just going through the emails and doing the quotes like that.
That's so good.
It's saved me so much stress, and it's saved me from like missing people in the DMs and stuff because I'm getting messages from all over the place. Even people that ring me now, it's bad, but I either won't answer the phone, or if I can answer, I'll say, look, I'm driving at the minute, or I'm on a job at the minute. I know it's inconvenient, but could you please go on my website and fill out the contact form? And then everyone's in order then. In the emails, they're in order of who's got in contact first. And not
That's
only
a really good way of doing it, actually.
It separates the people that are going to mess you about as well, because if they can't be bothered to fill out the contact form, they're probably not going to get the work done in the first place.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that is... See, I would still worry. I'd think, oh, now I've diverted them to my website. What if now they forget to go on there and they're doing something else, but they've messaged me now? So, but that is a good way of you being able to keep everything. But when I get home from work, once the kids are fed, bathed, in bed, my evenings is I pretty much work all evening. So I don't switch off until my head is on my pillow. So even if there's stuff on the TV, unless it's football, I'm not watching it. And I'm just literally on my phone, checking my messages, getting back to everybody. I try not to do that too late.
Did you think it was going to be like this when you started your business? Because this was the shock for me, is that I found that I thought I'll start my business naively so that I can actually switch off at night and have stop worrying about work, and I can do things my way sort of thing. But now my life is work every hour of the day. But do
you know what? I love it, and I don't want to switch off at night.
Yeah.
I absolutely love it. And I think the fact that I'm so busy and I'm still replying to messages all evening, it makes me feel proud that actually I started this 3 years ago and people are coming to me for a service because they've seen my work, or because somebody has told them how good I am. So I do love it. I'm a bit impulsive and full on. So I need something to focus on.
And I didn't know this was an option. Like when I was in school or when I started work and stuff, I didn't know you could just start your business and you know what I mean?
Don't you wish you just did it when you was 18?
Yeah, and I feel so grateful that I've worked all those shitty jobs and I've got to a position where I was so unhappy that I was desperate enough to start my own thing. And now when I look back and I'm, we're going out for lunch and we're having fun at work, we're out in the sun, and we're actually doing something that we enjoy, I feel so lucky that I get to do this.
Yeah, it's the best feeling, and I don't know why everyone don't just do it.
Yeah,
I think when I've worked in retail, I've worked those shifts, I've had to work Boxing Day, I've had to miss my kids' nativity play, I've had to do things because I work for somebody, and I have a schedule. Unless you've requested that time off, you can't have it off. Whereas now, the fact that I can just open and think, that's bank holiday.
Yeah.
I'm having Easter Monday off, actually. And you can just, being your own boss, fitting it in. And
But
I never cancel work. I'm not one of those people that think, I don't want to go work today. I'm going to message Jackson. I don't do that.
No.
I sometimes rejiggle things if I'm working in an area and I think actually I could do that job there when I'm there.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll reach out to the customer and jiggle things around like that. But no, being self-employed, I think I wish I'd done this when I was 18.
I was speaking to Mike the other week on the live stream from he helps out with the Pure Seal training courses, and he says he gets like a lot of commercial work and stuff. He says with a lot of his residential stuff, he sort of just puts them on a list and says, I'm not going to book you in for a specific date, but it's going to be roughly a month from now, and I'll send you a message a couple of nights beforehand. So he puts people on a list rather than booking them in for a very specific day or time. It's a lot more flexible.
Yeah.
I'm sort of wondering whether we pivot to that maybe next year and start putting people on like a waiting list or something. It'd be much easier.
Yeah, I am.
Because then if you've got certain jobs in the same area, you can just say, oh, I can come in a couple of days because I'm in your area, sort of thing.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that is a good way.
I don't know, I think that'd be very confusing for me, though. I'd get a little bit overwhelmed.
Yeah, I think then I will probably lose sleep thinking, oh, I've still got that person that I've got to fit in. So, I like just sort of piling in 2 or 3 jobs a day, kind of looking at the area, looking at roughly how long I think the job's going to take me. Will I be able to make it to the next job and get that done? 9 times out of 10, I do.
How are you doing for time? Are you okay for a bit, or do you want to wrap it up soon? Because I can go all night, so just let me know when you're ready to.
No, I'm all right until you're. Yeah.
Just check in because I'm very conscious of people's time, and I don't want to keep you any longer than what you want to be here for. That's all.
No, I told you I pretty much work all evening. I'm always on my phone.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm always thinking, what can I buy next? What can I get for my machine? What nozzles? What are other people using?
What are you in the market for now then? What's on your list? Because I think in this industry you've always got like an upgrades list or a purchase next list. You could spend money forever in this industry, couldn't you?
Yeah. I really want to get a van mount set up, but I'm not going to do that until I've got a second van.
Mm-hmm.
The reason being is because I want to upgrade my van. And then once I've upgraded my van, it's a 59 plate. It's not got aircon in it. It's Vivaro, but I just want something a bit nicer now.
What makes you say you want a van
bit bigger
mount
maybe,
system?
but I don't really know what, so don't ask me what.
Why do you want a van mount? Are you pulling the machine in and out every time you do your?
No, I don't. I leave it all in. But I just love looking at all the setups with the reel. It's all attached. It's all there.
Yeah.
So I lift my the hose that connects to the customer's water supply. I lift that out, stick that at the back of the van, then have the hose connecting to my water tank in the van. My machine faces, so I've got a little muffler on my exhaust now because my exhaust would just blow towards the other side door.
Yeah.
The position I've got it, but I've got a little sort of, I think it's called a muffler, which just changes the direction.
Yeah.
So that now points towards the back doors of the van as it's open. And then the other side door, because I've got twin doors, is where I do the pull start. So I don't get it out. Well, I used to lift it out. I had a ramp, and I used to do that at the start, but that was just a nightmare. Trying to get back up that ramp and drag like 90 kg, whatever that machine is. I'm all right getting out the van because I just fly down the ramp.
Yeah. Just ride it.
When it comes to getting it back in the van, I was holding on to the top door. I was dragging the machine up. I didn't enjoy that. So that's when I went and got the extra hose. And I didn't even used to have a hose reel. Oh my God, what a blessing they are. I used to fight with 30 meters or 40 meters of high pressure hose.
Oh, really? I think my friend Rich is still doing that. He's still not got a mounted hose reel or anything.
It makes you so strong, but it made me so angry.
Do you know what the technique is?
What?
It's not winding it up. It's
Go on.
figure of 8. If you do it in a figure of 8 in like the back of your van, he found out that's the easiest way to like make it in a nice, neat stack in the back of your van is you wind it into a figure of 8. It really works.
What? And then pick it up as an 8.
No, you put it in the van. You start at the machine, winding it into a figure of 8 in the back of the van. So it means it takes up quite a lot of room in the van, but it neatly stacks really nicely. Yeah.
Oh, I was doing that.
They're
And
so heavy.
as you're doing that, it's undoing, so you have to keep grabbing that other bit.
Yeah, ridiculously heavy as well.
Yeah, it's not nice. So yeah, I had the hose reel fitted in the back of the van, just in front of my machine. So, but I want that floor space. I want a van mount so that I've got that floor space that if I'm doing the gutters the same day that I've got a pressure washing job, it's all going in. And I can get it all in. I don't really do gutters and pressure washing, but if I'm going to a customer's property that want both, then I'm going to do both while I'm there. And it's just a bit of a nightmare cramming it all in. I think if I had a van mount and then that space behind, because I've got 2 tanks, then I've got my machine, then I've got my hose reel.
Are you still running 2 tanks?
Yeah, I have 2 tanks because I have the spotless water for the window cleaning, and then I have my other tank. They're both 250 litres.
So are you filling up at a spotless water station, or are you making your own?
No, I fill up. I don't make my own because I only do a small amount of windows in.
Yeah. So are you carrying 250 litres around in the van at all times, generally?
Well, the spotless tank's empty at the moment because I haven't been doing windows sort of the last few weeks, so that's empty. So I don't put water into that tank. I keep that one empty until I need to fill it up and go and do windows again. So I just mainly carry the 250.
So we were discussing in the Discord the other day, and this is something I think I'm going to have on my new van mounted system that I'm looking at the minute. Running both from a single tank. The issue there is if you're using one tank, you don't want to fill it up with spotless water and then use that through your pressure washer. Or if you fill it up with spotless water and then you do happen to use it through your pressure washer, it's circulating through your pump and becoming contaminated. And then if you're putting that on people's windows, you might have like oil in it or something. And so it's not necessarily a good way of doing it. But if you run from one tank with a feed going into your pressure washer, and then from the same tank, another feed going into like a 12-volt pump and a couple of DI resin tanks. So you can have like multiple hose reels on this van mounted setup. You'd have your normal low pressure hose, your high pressure hose, and then a window cleaning hose. And all you'd have to do then is flick on the 12-volt pump, and it filters that water. It won't be like the same quality you'd expect from a spotless station, but it'll be close.
Right.
So that's the sort of way you'd be able to run from the same tank if you did want to upgrade at some point and get it all integrated into one.
Yeah, no, I don't think I'd do that. I think what I want to do is just get a second van, and then the van I've got, keep that one as the window cleaning van.
Just window cleaning, yeah.
And then use both tanks as the spotless water.
Yeah.
Or just get one 500 litre tank in there as opposed to the 250. And then the new van have the van mount system, which is just for pressure washing.
Yeah. So because sorry, go on.
And then when I'm busy pressure washing season, somebody else can go out and do the windows for me, and then I can take on more windows.
Yeah. We don't do like enough windows to justify having a whole separate tank in the van. Like, so we'll do like a one-off. Like today we went to quote a commercial property. They've got a balcony and they've got like a patio area, and they want us to clean the windows at the same time. And so we'll need spotless water for that sort of work. But normally we just put like an inline resin tank into the customer's hose, and that is like pure enough to get a decent spotless finish on the windows. And so it'd be like a similar system.
You'll put a what there?
So I'll pull it up on the stream now. So the one that we've got is from
the thing's gone off. Hold on.
it's from Equip to Clean, and it's a DI. I think it's a resin. I think it's DI. Yeah, deionizing. So we've got the 15-litre one.
It's
And
delayed on.
yeah, you'll be about probably a couple of minutes behind.
Right.
So this has got like resin in the tank, and you literally plug the customer's water supply into one side of it, and out the other end you get like deionized filtered water.
Oh, I think I know. I think I know what you mean.
And it'll be a similar system if you were to have this sort
God,
of
so how many windows can you do with that?
a lot. I still haven't changed the resin on mine, and we've done conservatories, we've done windows, we've done all sorts, and it's still you can buy these little TDS meters to check the quality of the water that's coming out the other end, and it's going to be different qualities in different areas and stuff, but it's still doing a really good job at like reducing the parts per million, I think.
So what's it called? A resin tank?
Yeah, it's a deionizing resin tank. We've got the 15-litre one. We just still haven't changed the resin in it yet, and it's still doing a great job. And so it just means that we don't have to carry spotless water around with us. We just carry that tank in the van, and so on the off chance that the customer, if we need to rinse the windows after a pressure washing job, for example, we just plug that in and just go around with a water-fed pole. It's really good.
Right. Okay, I'll look into that.
Do you do like solar panels or anything? I don't suppose you don't have ladders, do you? So I don't suppose you would.
No.
Are you interested in doing anything like that, or roof cleaning or anything?
Roof cleaning does interest me, but I think if I add that on, would I still enjoy my job as much as I do now?
Probably not.
Yeah, I know. It looks, I can just imagine. When I was thinking about doing the gutters, I was thinking, yeah, the carbon fibre poles they're really light, but actually when you attach 3 or 4 of those and then you've got your camera on the end and you've got it up in the air and then you've got muck going through it, and I just think that's actually quite heavy.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know if it's just because I'm a girl, but maybe I don't have the man strength.
No, that's not what it is.
That heavy.
It's an uncomfortable position. It's an unnatural, weird position to be holding above your head and your neck as well, looking up like that all day.
Horrible.
Yeah.
Horrible, yeah. So then I think if I was to, because I'm always looking at the towers and then thinking, oh, you've got to build that. How long does that take to build? And
a long time.
Then you've got to move it around the other side and then move it. How easy are they to maneuver around? And then I think once you're up there with that pole and that high pressure going through that, that's got to be heavy. But then I know that it would sort of push off the tiles because of the pressure, maybe.
Still heavy. Yes, yeah, you pull the trigger and you get it to a point where it sort of balances itself, but it's still heavy. Your arm's still like this, your hand is still like this, and the vibrations. It's horrible. It's horrible work. I hate it.
And then I think the amount of mess it must make.
It plasters everything.
Yeah, everything. I see people do it, and they put down the tarpaulin, and then they got to do all the gutters afterwards, and then they clean up the windows, and then they dry it everywhere. Or if it's gone over the next door neighbour's house, and I just think no, I don't think I'd enjoy it. I think it's probably good money in it, and I've thought about it, and yeah, I think for me and Jordan, I think working together.
Jordan, your wife.
Yeah, Jordan's my wife, and I think sometimes if I get stressed at work, I can be quite short and I think if I was doing roofs,
yeah,
I think our marriage would fail.
It's absolute chaos, and I think we're sort of pivoting to not offering so much pressure washing on roofs. Although I got a quote accepted today, unfortunately, to pressure wash a roof, but I'd rather scrape them because it's just less messy and less. Yeah, just less chaos and less strain on your body and stuff. But
that must take ages.
It does. But we've got good at them now. Yeah, we've got good at them. We've got quite efficient. So
see, I would find that really boring. For me, scraping a whole roof, I would think, no, I'm done. I'd look at that roof when I get there and think, I've got to scrape all of that. No way.
Yeah, and I think honestly there is easier money to be made, and I think I'd probably much rather do like a repointing job where I'm putting a dust mask on, grinding out all the joints, cleaning it all nice, and the transformation's better. It's like better for content and all that sort of stuff. There's easier money to be made than doing roofs. But
Yeah.
if it keeps the work coming in, some people get super efficient at it, like Sid Partridge and stuff, and Macintosh, and there's a bunch of lads in the Discord that are doing really well on the roofs and stuff. But I just think it's such hard work and it's so stressful that I'm not sure I want to do it much longer.
This is it. I think at the moment I really enjoy it. 9 times out of 10, all parts of the job that I do. I've added on the gutters, which I just don't like doing. I've added on the windows, which I don't like doing, but it's things that I have to do to get me through the winter.
Just to survive.
But when it comes to pressure washing jobs, I just love it.
Yeah. Your friendly neighbourhood exterior cleaner asks, where does Jo think she's going to get the new setup from? Is there any that she likes the look of? For your van mount.
Who have I messaged? I've messaged Ben at Rutland Pumps.
Nice.
But a couple of some of the setups I've seen of his, and I've messaged PWS.
Yeah,
I think it is
Darren. He's in the chat actually.
I think I've seen one of theirs. Who's got the green sort of frames?
PWS.
Yeah, that's the one that I've messaged. So I'm sort of keeping an eye on what's out there, and I think I'd go for obviously no less than a 21 litre per minute. I'd like to upgrade that, but then I think at the moment it's all down to the customer's water pressure and stuff, and my machine copes quite well with that. I don't know what you're running.
Yeah, well, you can quite easily take your current machine off of its skid and put it onto a van mounted setup. So you don't have to get a whole new machine, you can just put it onto a different frame.
Right, and use my same one.
Yeah. So if you're happy with the size of your buffer tank and that's maintaining the water quite well with that particular machine, you just get the same size buffer tank in your van mounted setup as well. You can keep your same lances, same hoses, everything.
So what would they do? They would provide the van mount system but without the machine?
Yeah, you just tell them which machine you've got, which pump you've got, and they would just build you a van mounted system. You say, this is the size of the tank that I want. These are the hose reels I've got, for example, unless you haven't got any hose reels. Yeah, they can just build, make ssure they know which van you've got so they know it's actually going to fit the footprint of the van.
Maybe I can get one sooner than I thought then. Yeah, I never thought of having, but then I do want a second machine as well, because I've seen you and Jakey, how you do 2 machines going and you're both doing a neighbour's, you're on one drive, he's on the other, and sometimes when I go, most jobs I go to, they want me to do the patio as well, so I start at the back of the property and then I work to the front, and I think Jordan could start the flat surface cleaning at the back. I could start the pressure washing, the turbo and the drive.
Yeah.
So I do want to get a second machine anyway. But then I worry about the customer's water supply, keeping up with 2 machines going, and that was one of the questions I was going to ask you.
Yeah. So what we tend,
how you cope with that?
What we're doing is we've got the 3/4 inch hose plugged into the customer's tap. We haven't got any special fittings on them or anything. It's literally just the same fittings that you screw onto the customer's tap. That splits on the hose reel into my 250 litre buffer tank, and then off into Jake's 210 litre buffer tank. He's got a slightly smaller machine than mine, but we're running them around about the same flow and same pressure. So he's got a 21-200 as well. And honestly, like most of the time, we can, spend 10 minutes filling both tanks up. Normally, I've already got water in my tank anyway, because I've got a big Mercedes Sprinter, so it doesn't really make much difference. But I arrive with generally half a tank of water, 10 minutes to fill them up, and then pretty much by the time we're halfway through most jobs, we might have to wait once for the tanks to fill back up again, and then away we go again.
And then that gives you sweeping time, doesn't it?
Yeah. It's rare that we get one with such low pressure where we both can't work, and if we do, we just don't bother setting up Jakey's machine. We just use mine. We just use the one machine. but it's rare.
Right.
But you could.
Yeah, job I done today didn't have the great pressure. I mean, it was fine when I got there, and then halfway through the day, it just dropped. I don't know if you put a dishwasher on or a washing machine, or I don't know, but something happened, and it was just awful. And I had to keep turning off every sort of 15 minutes.
Yeah.
And I thought, how would I run a second machine if this was the case? But I suppose
Yeah.
you would just make that decision not to.
Yeah, and there's nothing worse. Do you carry like a flow meter around with you?
Flow meter, what's that?
So if you go on Amazon and just type in just like water flow meter, you can plug into the customer's tap just one of these digital meters, and it will tell you how many litres per minute are coming out of the customer's tap.
Oh, okay.
And you literally just, you can put a quick release on it and literally just slot it onto the customer's tap, turn it on full blast, see what sort of litres per minute you're getting out of it. And you can do that at the quoting stage, so you know whether it's gonna, you know whether you're going to be able to, you know how often you're going to be stopping. Basically, if you're turning your machine on full whack and it's drawing 21 litres per minute, and your customer's tap is pumping out 16 to 18 litres per minute, you know you're probably not going to have to stop. But if it's pumping out 10 or 12 litres per minute, you know you're probably going to stop 2 or 3 times.
Right. So is that what you use?
That's what we have used in the past, but I keep breaking mine because we have ours on the hose reel itself, and we keep snapping them off in the van, and so I keep ruining them basically. And sometimes you need to replace the batteries and stuff, so they are a bit of a pain to have, but I think they're really valuable. And they're
So what you connect yours to your hose reel, not to the customer's tap?
Yeah, so we've got ours on the inlet of the hose reel, so that I don't have to keep taking it on and off. We haven't used them for quoting, but I think it's a good idea to use them for quoting. I can sort of gauge it by eye when I turn the customer's tap on whether it's going to be enough or not.
That's what I do. I look and I think, oh yeah, that's really good. I think,
Yeah. But if I had one of those set up with a quick release, I'd definitely do that. I'd stick it on at the quoting stage. I just don't have one at the minute, but we had one hard mounted onto the hose reel, so that you turn the customer's tap on when you start doing the job, and you can see exactly how much flow that you're getting. And then I
suppose you can work out if you can run 2 machines. So
yeah.
What sort of flow would you need it to say that would make 2?
Anything above 15 litres per minute is decent. Yeah.
For 2 machines.
Yeah.
Okay.
You spend 10 minutes filling
the other thing I was going to ask.
Go on.
So your unloader valve.
Yeah.
I don't touch mine, because I remember when I first started, a short while later, something happened. My unloader valve and the ball or something inside had something. I don't know the mechanism of it all, but something had dented, and basically I had to get my unloader changed. And I hadn't had the machine that long, and he was like, do you twist? And I was like, yeah. I'm always sort of twisting it and then going back the other way. And when I first got the machines, I didn't really know it. And now I think I do not touch that unloader valve now. I think if it's set and my gauge, I've got a gauge on there.
Yeah.
So if it's telling me that it's at 3,000 psi when I'm on the trigger, I'm happy.
Yeah.
So I if I need to adjust the pressure when I'm on a job, I just lower the revs.
Perfect.
But then I've seen on some groups people say, no, the machines are designed to be on full whack. Don't lower the revs. So if you're working on a surface it's more delicate, what do you do with that?
So ideally, it depends on what sort of unloader valve you've got. Some of them are like flow sensitive unloader valves, and I don't know anything about these, by the way. But generally, if you lower your revs, ideally you're supposed to lower your unloader valve as well, just to match the Darren will know more about this, but just to match the you can be putting too much load. Your machine can be trying to achieve too much pressure than the power it's outputting. So if you lower the revs, it's still trying to achieve full pressure, and it's putting extra strain on the machine. Unless you've got a certain unloader valve. But on Jakey's machine, he's got like a K1 unloader. He's got the same one as I have. I don't even have an adjustable unloader. I'm only adjusting the revs on Jakey's machine. Whereas,
Oh yeah, I've got the adjustable unloader. It's got the plus and the minus on the
Yeah.
top part of it, and
they're a ball ache to adjust. They're really difficult to spin, and you've not really got an accurate way of measuring it. So it's annoying. But on my machine, I don't move the revs at all. I leave the revs in the lowest position possible because it's quite a big beefy machine. I don't need to adjust the revs. I've
but you
got.
don't put it up high.
I don't touch it. No. I leave mine on idling, and then I've got a little. It's called a. I'm blanking. It's called a needle valve. So it's just like a little valve that you spin, and that's how I adjust my pressure.
Right.
There's a few different ways of doing it, but yes, strictly, I believe ideally on your machine, if you're lowering the revs, you also want to either lower the unloader or put a different nozzle on. That's
Right.
that's like a thinner nozzle, so it achieves the right pressure. I don't know. It's very confusing.
Right.
Very confusing.
Yeah.
I haven't really answered your question there, have I?
Maybe I should adjust the unloader then. I just lower the revs, but if that's going to put more strain on the machine.
If there was an easy...
I mean, I don't know how long them machines are designed to last, but I service it once a year. I get the unloader changed once a year. And I've had it 3 years come May. And it's still, touch wood, I think it's amazing.
Yeah. Darren's just mentioned a good point in the chat. He said if you want to lower the pressure, just put a bigger nozzle on. Put a wider orifice nozzle.
Right.
What that'll do is you put in the water through a bigger hole, so it's a lower pressure. But you're going to use potentially more water than you would do if you were turning your machine down.
Right, okay.
If you imagine you're putting a set amount of water through this nozzle, you can either turn the machine down to use less pressure, or you can put a bigger nozzle on. It's going to put more water out and lower the pressure at the same time, and your machine's running the same way. You haven't touched your machine.
When I do things like, I see pressure washing videos, and you know when you've just got the trigger and you've just got a nozzle on the end, so you haven't got the big lance, and you're just doing, I think I saw Jakey doing it the other day, some top coping stones or something on a wall.
Yeah.
And it didn't look like any strain on his arm. Well, a little bit actually, a little bit of strain on his arm, but it looked quite easy. Now, if I'm there on mine doing something like that, I'm like, and I'm holding it, and then I'm like sort of getting a distance so I don't damage. And I'm sort of going closer as I can, like without starting further away. But the pressure.
Yeah, so that's two things. You've probably got your pressure too high to be. When we're using it on a stubby lance like that, because you're so close to the surface, we generally turn the pressure right down anyway, just so that we can get closer and it's a bit more controlled. But also
the unloader.
Yeah, all the revs. Yeah, depending on which way you want to do it. But also, we've got flow sensitive unloaders, and the benefit of that is you get a soft start. So when you pull the trigger, the pressure builds gradually. With yours, you'll probably pull the trigger and you get this sudden burst of pressure. Yeah. And it's not fun, especially when you're doing things like roof cleaning and stuff.
So what did you say you've got? What trigger did you say?
It's not the trigger, it's the unloader. So it's a K1 unloader. It's like a flow sensitive unloader, I believe.
Right.
Yeah. But you could have that. You could quite easily have that fitted on your new setup. So if you did have a new van mounted setup, they could change your unloader, and add that stuff in at a later date.
Right.
Because you've got the main bit, you've got the machine, and you've got a good pump on there. Everything else is interchangeable. You're not stuck with that.
Right.
You know what I mean? You don't have to sell that to be able to upgrade to something else. You've got the main bit. As long as it's well serviced, it should last you a while. Darren at PWS says, Joe can definitely help you with this type of thing. And Darren at PWS, he can map out the footprint of your van, and he can 3D print a little scale version of what you want in your van, which is really cool.
Darren, do it.
He said that to me the other day. He said that to me the other day. I was like, take my money. That's brilliant. He'll 3D print the footprint of my van, so I've got the floor of my van, and then
Yeah.
he'll print the scale model of the frame that I want, the tank that I want, where the
And then you see
machines
what
would
room
be.
you've got.
You'd see exactly how it would look in like a smaller version. It's very cool.
Yeah, wow. So yeah, Darren, have a think about what unloader I would need then on my machine.
Have you got a Honda
I did.
GX 390?
Yeah,
Do you know what pump you've got?
21 litres per minute.
Do you know what brand, by any chance?
Um,
Don't worry if not.
I don't know.
Mark Edwards says, "Hi guys, loving the chat. Really interesting as I'm just starting up. All this new stuff, going for a van mount as the old one. I don't want to be dragging the kit in and out of the van. Yeah, as soon as you get to that first job with your van mounted machine and you just pull one hose out and plug it into the tap, pull the other one out and just turn the machine on, start pressure washing because you've already got
I
water in the
remember
van."
it used to take me about 20 minutes just to set up and then 20 minutes to pack away. So every job, it would be 40 minutes of setting up and putting away. Now I fill my machine up with fuel when I get there and then walk off with the hoses.
Yeah, yeah.
And
Darren
the Q
says,
fittings, oh my God, they were a game changer as well when I realised about them.
you pull the...
Oh, I used to have to turn the machine off, disconnect, connect to my flat surface cleaner. When I realised about them Q fittings, everything now.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a godsend.
Darren says K1 unloader with a Vibro X and a needle valve. It'd be wicked controllable. And so the Vibro X as well, it's like a chamber, it's like a swirl pot or something, I think. And it sort of almost totally removes any vibration from your machine as well that comes down the hose. There's a bunch of little tweaks that Darren will be able to do for you that eliminate all the vibration, like especially with your turbo nozzle and stuff. And so that'll save your elbows and your shoulders as well.
So will it take away that? Because one of the other pieces of equipment I've got, which I love, is my twin lance.
Yep.
But if I put the lance down and I'm doing something and I pick it up and then will it take all that away then?
Yeah.
How does it do that?
It only feeds water when the trigger's pressed. And so at the end of a job when you turn the machine off and you have to press the trigger to release the pressure. If you were to press the trigger with like a K1 unloader, you press the trigger and nothing comes out the end because it's all just gone back into your buffer tank.
Right. Oh, that would be amazing then. Even today, when I was doing the top of a rendered wall, I was standing on this small bit of wall to sort of get over it, and I was just like that every time. I just thought I didn't want to take my hand off the trigger. I thought, no, I'm going now. I'm just doing the whole bit. I'm not even. It's
almost unsafe with the way it makes you work. It's almost unsafe, isn't it? Sometimes.
Yeah. So that will fit onto my machine.
Yeah.
That what he's just said.
Yeah. And also the other thing is, when you put a nozzle on the end of your lance and you haven't put it in right, and then you press the trigger and it fires straight through a window.
I make sure I don't do that anymore. I've literally had it fly off and I'm like, oh, where's my nozzle gone?
Clean time exterior cleaning. I have seen your message a couple of times, mate. I will check the Discord afterwards. I think because we've got a guest on tonight, I'm not gonna look at machines for you at the minute. Unfortunately, sorry, mate.
How are you getting on with the yellow high pressure hose?
If I'm totally honest, I love it. But if anyone suggests that it doesn't mark, it's not true. Every single hose I've had has marked. I didn't buy it thinking that it wouldn't mark, so I've not been missold anything. I haven't even paid for it yet. He hasn't even sent me an invoice for it yet. So I can't complain at all. He's been absolutely... Conrad, I literally phoned him as my hose burst, and the next day I'd got a brand new hose and I'd fitted it, and I was ready to go again. There was no downtime. And so... Do
you live near him then?
No. So he sent it out, and it's I'm so impressed with the service, and he hasn't even charged me for it yet, like I say, but the hose is flexible.
You've just reminded him.
Yeah, I reminded him the other day. It's really nice and flexible. It's lovely. It's smooth through your hands. So when you winding it back onto the reel, like it doesn't sound like it would make much difference, but when you winding a nice smooth hose back onto the reel, it's lovely. It's like really nice to use.
Right.
It's high vis, which is always something I'm super conscious about when I'm working across pavements and stuff. Pulling the black hose out the van. Although I've got the yellow one and a wet floor sign, they might only spot the yellow one. They might not spot the black one that's next to it.
Yeah.
And so having
I'm the same. So I literally have to line mine up together and then put
So having a high vis, high pressure hose as well, it's really feels really nice to use. I really like it.
Do you think it will last as long as?
I don't know. I don't know anything to do with hoses. I don't know what materials they're made out of. I'm guessing it's some sort of rubber. I think it's twin wire. It should probably last just as long as the other one. And the only reason these hoses mark, it's not because they're being dragged across the surface. It's because it's the vibration from the machine. Yeah. Potentially combined with the surface being wet as well. That can sometimes not help. But also if your hoses have been sort of degraded over time by different chemicals and stuff, that also doesn't help either.
Oh, what if they're laying in the chemicals when you're?
Yeah, it's not going to help your hoses. Yeah.
All right.
It'll like
I'll
dry
probably
them out
get a
and
new
stuff.
one each, maybe every sort of 15 months. I'll have or 18 months. One of mine will start really sort of fraying, and I'm cutting my hand a little bit, and I think no, it's time.
Yeah, I'm really bad because I wait for stuff to break before I replace it, and that's not a good way to work, really.
I now have another one in the van, so if I come across that situation, and I had one the other day in the van when my hose split, but I couldn't get, because my hose had an extension bolt on it.
Yeah.
And I was at a job, I had everything out, and I couldn't with my spanners undo the bolt, and I just thought, oh no, and I chucked everything in the back of the van, and I just drove down to a local place to me that helps me out. And just bought 50 meters there and then and said, put it on my reel, take that other one off.
Who do you go to out of interest?
Hydropower in Storrington.
No idea.
It's about 20 minutes from me. I think they mainly deal with like a drain, like the big machines, and they deal with drains and stuff, but they get the odd pressure washer person like me going in. And
something that H2O restorations do is they'll have sometimes 100 meters worth of hose on their reels, but it's divided up into 20 or 30 meter sections. So if you get one that bursts, you can just take that section out and carry on working. You don't lose the day. You know what I mean? Yeah. But it just sort of makes the hose reel. It makes the hose reel look a little bit unneat. So I'm not sure I'll be able to do that.
Yeah, that's the thing, because I've got an extender bit on. Well, I haven't now because I've got a new hose. And when you reel it in, I think it's just putting added strain on the bit that's you've got the bolt bit, and then the hose is like that.
Yeah.
And I always try, when I'm winding my hose in, do that bit looser so it's not tightening that hose, because I just think it was just going to go there.
Yeah.
I've now got 50 meters on my reel. And then I've got another 50 meters just loose in the van.
Oh, wow.
In case that one bursts.
Yeah.
I've got another 50 meters there. And then I've got 20 meters of an extension one to add on to the 50 meters that's on the reel if I need that little bit extra.
That's a lot of hose. You're carrying all that around in the van?
Yeah. My van's chocker.
Yeah,
it's organised. It's organised. But it's full.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm thinking I want to get a bigger van.
Mark Edwards says, Joe, you're local to me and I've been watching your stuff on Facebook, and I keep sending my contact page, and it keeps sending me contact page. I don't know what that means. Just sold my chip shop after 24 years and I'm semi-retired, but I love pressure washing. Nice. Evening, Ray, welcome. Has anyone got any questions for Joe? She's been going just over 3 years now, did you say?
Yeah, 3 years in May.
And so what's the next step for the business then? Are you happy just doing grinding and keep doing what you're doing, or have you got obviously you've got your goals to get a different van and and your van mount setup, but are you thinking of pointing the business in any specific direction, or have you got any opportunities that you think you want to follow up on, or what's the next step?
No, not really at the moment. Just carrying on what I'm doing. Just still getting the business out there. I think the first sort of 5 years when you set up a business is you're working at just getting those reviews, getting noticed.
Any other training that you think you might benefit from?
I worry with sealing. Like, I know I've sealed block drives and stuff. I feel confident with block paving. I feel like I can't really go wrong, and I've kind of nailed it how I do it. But when it comes to a patio, I get a little bit scared. And I know it's just like I watched one of your videos earlier, and I saw with your blower. Was it earlier or yesterday? I can't remember.
Yeah, yesterday.
And I thought, oh, that's a good idea, because obviously sandstone isn't smooth, so you're going to get the little pockets where the sealant maybe sits more. And I've not sealed a patio. So I've had people ask me.
I'm more scared of the block paving. I'm the other way around to you.
No way. See, I think a patio, what if the pointing isn't great and I seal it? What happens then?
It's down to the customer. Like, if you've pressure washed it and you say, like, clearly the pointing's not great, are you still happy to go ahead with the sealing? Do you offer repointing or anything like that, or is it just the pressure?
No, I don't. And the reason I don't was because I had my ongoing knee problem, and I thought I don't want to be on the floor on my
that'd
knees.
Be brutal.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm more comfortable with a patio, I think, just because I've had a couple of issues in the past with block paving where the sub base isn't quite dried out enough, and it's either bloomed or it's been super hot, and I've got like, or the sand hasn't solidified properly, or I've got like misting around the joints and stuff. I'm just not. I'm not a huge.
What sealant do you use?
All different ones. It depends on the surface. I've used different sealers from Pure Seal, different ones from Smart Seal. I've used sealers from that sandstone one the other day was just Screwfix, just a no nonsense £15 5 litre tub from Screwfix, and because it's a cheap sealer, it's got like a low resin. It's got like a. It's not got It's not a super high quality sealer, so it's got a minimal amount of resin in there, and so you just build up the layers with more coats.
Right.
I'm not sure there is different ways that these sealers are made up, but generally the more expensive ones, because they've got like a higher resin content, I believe. I'm probably talking out my arse at the minute, and there's people watching this that are going, you've no idea what you're talking about, but yeah.
No, so I used to get my sealant for block paving from Resi Block.
Yeah, super expensive.
And then super expensive.
Yeah.
Oh, I was like, wow. Now I go to Smart. Was it Smart Seal?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you using my discount code?
No, I'm not.
I've got a 10% off discount code.
Okay.
I think it actually just ran out. I think that was March.
Oh.
But I'm sure they'll do me another one for April. AC Pressure Washer says, "Hi Joe, great to see you on here." There you go. That's Conrad.
Hey, Conrad. I do watch some of your videos and see what you're up to next.
Does Joe prefer this job or the last one? I think that's an easy question. I think I can answer that for you, mate. I think she prefers this one.
Yeah, I hated my last job.
Joe, your customer base, how many percentage-wise are return customers? What's your source on new clients? Do you pay for ads? We went over this a little bit at the beginning, Luke. Just like Facebook ads.
So yeah, that's what I'm starting to realise, how why the business is getting so much busier now, because I've got my returning customers that have their annual cleans, patios or deckings mainly, driveways. Some driveways are annual cleans, but if not annual, then every 2 years.
And then their daughters want it done this year as well, or their mum.
Yeah, then their daughter and their friends and the neighbour, and And then I've got the new people that are seeing me now. So and I think that's why it's going so well now. When
Yeah.
you first start, it's people don't know much, do they? But when you're consistent and showing your work.
100%. Clean Time says, what was it like starting off, Joe? Was it a bit slow at the start? How long did it take for your work to start picking up consistently?
Second year, I think it got really busy. First year, sort of still finding your feet, still feel like you're taking a big risk. You don't really know what each month's going to bring and how it's going to go. So you're just sort of running with it a little bit blind. Hence, when I went into the winter and realised I needed to think of something else to do. But the second year, it really, really took off.
It's
because
amazing.
you've got your customers coming back.
It's such a good feeling having them customers come back, isn't it?
Oh yeah, when and they say I'm going to use you again.
Yeah.
And you get that glowing review. And like you say, then they tell their friends. I find if I do a job for like an elderly person, their friends will then contact me because elderly people like to get on the phone and say, "Oh, did you just do my favourite week?" And then they're like,
I know. I can see her out the window. I'm looking over the street now. I wondered who that was.
Oh yeah, well, they come out and they're all proud that I'm there, that I'm doing it. And do you know what? As well, I think where I'm always on my social medias doing videos, some of my customers actually get really excited to meet me.
Yeah.
Which I find so weird.
Yeah.
Do you?
Yeah, that some of them say, I feel like I know you already. I've been watching you for so long, and yeah,
and I feel like, oh, really? And they get a bit excited when I'm here. Like, oh, I've been so looking at you coming to do my drive. I've been watching all your videos. And
where else can you find that in a job? You know what I mean? That sort of satisfaction and appreciation for the work that you do. I don't think you can find that many other places.
No, just making people happy, coming out, seeing their outside space looking really good. You can have someone turn up who isn't as driven and committed and get out the karcher from the back of their van and make an absolute mess and don't even lift the stains, tackle the rust, attempt the oil stains or anything like that, and just leave it looking crap. Or you can have somebody that's going to give that customer that premium service that they want, going above and beyond. And
here's a question for you: how do you get on with stain removal? Like, I've seen you've been doing your smelly gel from Pure Seal, and how have you got on with things like oil?
Oil's a tough one, and I kind of go by the rule. If it's been there over 3 months, 12 weeks, I kind of think then it's going to be harder for me to lift. Anything sort of under 3 months, or like a new stain, I feel like I can really fade it out, and then maybe have to go back and have another little go until the customer's like, yeah, that's fine.
Have you ever had a perfect result on oil? Because I don't think I have.
Not perfect, but I remember going back, and I remember when I cleaned it and then the drive was drying out and I thought, that looks really good. That's gone. And then I remember going back the next day to sand it and it's completely back there like it never even went. And I'm like, whoa, that went yesterday. But it comes back. It's in the blocks.
And it always looks amazing when it's wet as well.
And I've done it where, I mean, and I was convinced it was gone. It was grey cobble blocks. It looked really nice. It was really this dark, horrible stain looking thing. I treated it. It looked really good. And then when I came back the next day, I thought, wow, it's back. But a couple of attempts sometimes I find sort of helps it. But I've been trying the Synergy lately as well.
Mm-hmm.
And I never knew that's a new thing for me because I use the Resi Block oil remover. That's what I go by. Though it stings, it gets you high. But I've been using that. And there was one drive that it was a grey blocks drive, and it really faded out and got rid of the oil like really well, and I was really happy with it. When I went back the next day, I don't think I'd rinsed the product enough away because it looked like it had slightly not corroded, but
etched.
on the blocks. So the oil stain was gone. The customer was blown away. They were like, wow, the oil stain's gone. But I could see that etched bit, and I thought maybe I didn't rinse that enough. Or
You might find that it's cleaned that part of the driveway really well, and it's like brightened those blocks significantly more than the rest of the driveway. So
yeah,
what you might find helps with synergy is if you're treating that oil stain and you're super concentrated on that oil stain, but then before you clean the rest of the drive, X-jet synergy on the rest of the drive and brush it in. And so that if you do get any sort of colour disparity, it's on the whole drive rather than just on one small section.
right. Would you use just Synergy then on oil stains?
I think generally the advice is from Pure Seal that if Synergy doesn't remove it, which it's pretty unlikely to remove it in one hit anyway, you'd want to treat the oil stain multiple times because, again, it looks great when it's wet, but when it gets to the point where you're scrubbing it in and the foam isn't brown anymore, if the foam is bright white and it's not discolouring, you've done as much as you can with the Synergy. So at the point where you've like applied it 3 times and now it's foaming white when you're brushing it in,
you've got everything out of it that you can.
You've got as much as you can do with the Synergy, and at that point, you'd probably go back on a dry day with Oil Clear Pro from Pure Seal. So that's like a super concentrated oil stain remover, and that needs to be applied dry. So you wouldn't want to do it while the drive's still wet. You'd sort of paint it on with the paintbrush dry. And you can even leave that for like 24 hours to like draw the oil out. I've tried this. I've been quite impatient with oil stains, and I'm just like, that'll do sort of thing. And I never promise the customer anything. I always set their expectations and say, look, depending on what kind of oil it is, depending on how long it's been there, depending on the porosity of the surface, depending on the surface type, like there's so many different factors that are going to determine whether I get this oil stain out or not. And at some point, if I've spent like a couple of hours trying to remove an oil stain, it's already past the point in which I'm losing money on the job, and so I'm just like, I've done as much as I can.
Yeah, basically. I think when you first start out, you like to think you can do everything. You think, oh yeah, I'll get some oil remover. Yeah, I can remove that stain for you. I'll do it. And then it's like a rookie error because you realise that this ain't going. So now, like you say, customers' expectation, I will say to them, I'll give it a go. I'll do 2 or 3 applications to lift as much of the stain out as I can. If it doesn't go fully, it will certainly fade, but we'll see what we're left with.
There's a couple of things
so that they know that you're not
trying to have them on. You're not trying to missell them a service that you can't achieve.
That's right.
There's a couple of things that you can do if you really can't shift the stain. Heat really helps. So if you've got steam set up, that really helps with things like stain removal. You can also, I've heard you can also get like a blowtorch and burn the oil off, burn any residue off. I've never tried that, and you've got to be careful you don't get too close to the bricks and like obviously burn the surface. The other thing you can do if you've got beveled blocks, you can take those pavers out and put them somewhere more inconspicuous, and replace them with a different with blocks from the other side of the drive maybe. Or if you've got
blocks over,
if you've got flat blocks that aren't beveled, you can just spin them over. It depends how far you want to go with it, because you can end up spending quite a lot of time on it. And
see, I wouldn't offer that service to turn them over, but I have said to the customer before, that's as much as I can get that gone. If it's really bothering you that much, then you can look at ways of getting the blocks turned over or moved somewhere else.
And I feel really uncomfortable offering a service and charging 60-70 quid extra for a stain removal job that I can't guarantee I'm going to remove. I feel really uncomfortable doing that. And so I try and set the bar low and say, like, I'm going to charge you 50 quid extra because I'm going to spend probably an extra hour trying to clear this stain, but I still can't guarantee that it's going to be gone by the time I'm done.
Yeah.
And at least you've held your hands up and you've been honest with them.
That's it. And they don't mind, and they don't mind that because they know you've attempted it. You've used your time, like you say, and your product, and you've warned them that it's not 100% that you're going to be able to lift that stain.
Yeah. Chris says, what do you do for winter? We have already covered a few of these things in the beginning of the live stream. So Joe does a lot of gutter clearing over the winter and facias and soffit washing. Is that right?
Yeah.
Why do you prefer Facebook ads instead of Google ads?
Never even attempted Google ads, so I wouldn't even know how successful they would be.
Same.
But I have a lot of people that see my Facebook stuff, so, and I'm on there anyway, so yeah, I like to run my Facebook ads.
Let's have a look. I've heard Synergy and Oil Clear Pro work really well together. Yep. Have you ever tried brake cleaner, or does that damage the surface? I have no idea, mate. I'd be scared to put brake cleaner on the surface personally, but oil stains within 24 hours. Get out your washing powder and let it soak in, says Luke.
Right.
What does everyone
Most
use?
of the ones I'm doing have been there bloody months.
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
What does everyone use?
or
for
you
rust?
don't realise they're there until you've cleaned off the 20 years of grime that's on top of it, and then you think, oh, you've got an oil stain there.
Yeah, that's true. I'm desperate for a wee. I've been sat here like shifting around for ages. I'm going to run a quick advert. Do you want to go for a bit longer, or would you rather wrap it up?
No, I'm easy. Whatever you want to do.
Okay, I'm going to run like a 1 minute 30-second advert, so I can just go for a wee. I'll be
Do I
back.
need to mute myself?
I'll mute you. I'll mute you from this end. Don't worry about it. All right, I'll be back in a minute.
All right, see you in a sec.
Bye. Mute, and then right, guys. I'll be back in just a sec. Now these videos take a lot of time and effort to film and edit, on top of trying to run a successful pressure washing business. If you find any of the information in my videos useful, then I'd like for you to consider becoming a paid member of the channel. Circle members and above will get access to my private Discord for members only, where you can pretty much get a hold of me 24 hours a day for inspiration, technical help, marketing advice, or just a general chat. I post pictures and videos that you won't see on any of my other socials. You'll be the first to hear about giveaways, special offers and announcements, and it's just generally a nice place full of like-minded people who are all heading towards similar goals. We've got various different experience levels. We've got a few professionals in the chat as well. If you want to push your business, in my opinion, this is the place to be. We also have two other membership tiers. One is just to show a bit of support for the channel, and the other one is for boosted members, which will not only give you access to the private Discord, but also loads of high quality promotional images for you to start your business. I know what it's like when you're ready to get going, but you don't have any before and after pictures to put on your leaflets. At the moment, there's about 150 images that you can use for pretty much whatever you like, and my intention is to constantly update these over the next few years with all of my before and afters that have helped promote my business. Last thing before I let you go, new videos come out every Monday night at 5:30, and then I go live at 7:30 to chat to you guys and answer as many questions as possible. We do live quotes for real customers and just generally keep up to date with everything going on in the pressure washing world. Thanks for watching. Back to the video. Oh. Right, I'm back.
He's back.
Hello, hello, hello.
Can you hear me?
Yep, hear you fine.
That was the other thing I was going to ask. What do you prefer, the X-Jet or the Pro Foamer?
So my friend Rich has the Pro Foam, and I think the Pro Foam is excellent for ground surfaces if you want to really get your product to foam up and to like increase the dwell time and stuff. I think it's a less versatile product compared to like the Pro Jet or the X-Jet. There's no adjustment on the nozzle, so you can't change the spread of the application. So you're set
Right.
you're set to a very specific nozzle width.
Right.
And it's from what I saw, I've only used it once, but it seemed like it was a fairly low pressure application method, whereas with the X-Jet you can sort of turn the pressure up if you need to and shoot the product a little bit further. Whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, I'm not sure. But the other thing with the X-Jet that I've found, or the Pro Jet, maybe in like a similar situation, is that you can obviously unclip it from the hose and adjust the nozzle angle to rinse stuff down. Really good for rinsing down. Whereas you can't really do that as well with the Pro Foam, because the Pro Foam is
Right.
designed to like foam up the liquid that's coming through it, and so it's a lot more spluttery and splattery.
Right. Okay.
That was my limited experience with it, and I've not used one since, so
No, I'll
I'm not
stick with
sure.
my X-Jet then. And how are you finding your switch tip? Because
Brilliant,
I've ordered mine and it hasn't come yet, but I'm excited.
fantastic. I'm gonna do a. I've got like a review coming up, and spoiler, it's great. Yeah, I'm not gonna go as far
Cool.
as calling it a game changer just yet, but it's potentially going to change the game for a lot of people. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Cool. And biocide.
Yep.
Would you ever do that through an X-Jet? Because I don't. I do it through a sprayer.
Yeah.
But because biocide is, I suppose, kind of quite harmful if it's hitting anything that it shouldn't, or spraying quite.
Yeah. So again, just like if you were to X-Jet hypo down, you've got to be in full control of where it's going, because it can be super dangerous. But again, if you're going to pre-wet the area around where you're doing, and then keep it wet throughout the process. So if you're with hypo, like if you spray it near a bit of wood, you want to turn it off and quickly rinse the wood. If you accidentally get it on some plants or some grass, which you shouldn't really, but turn it off and just dilute that. Dilution is the key. If you get any overspray or any runoff going where it shouldn't, just heavily dilute it, and you can't really go wrong.
This is it. Whenever some people see my TikToks, they say, "Oh, I bet you killed that grass. Bet you killed." And I think I've never killed grass.
These people on TikTok, when your videos reach like a larger audience than people who are just interested in pressure washing, you'll get all sorts of experts that have never done the job, and they've never encountered that chemical. They have no idea what chemical you're using. They just assume because it sort of looks questionable, maybe.
Yeah.
But they'll type as if they're an expert and they know exactly what they're talking about. But you just got to ignore a lot of people on TikTok because they're just absolute wafflers.
Well, I just kind of reply, "No, I haven't killed the grass. If you know what you're doing,
Yeah.
you do it right." And I think,
Yeah, but
yeah,
spraying biocide, it does seem like a lighter, floatier product. So it's a lot more bubbly than just like hypo with a bit of surfactant in it. It seems like a lighter product, so it does. On a windy day, you'll get a lot more drift if you were to put biocide through an X-Jet. But there's no reason that you can't do it. I wouldn't. I think I've done it once or twice where I've put biocide on a roof through an X-Jet, but that's because I was up in like a cherry picker or up on a scissor lift, and I was very close to the surface that I was spraying, and like it was a calm day, so there's no wind. But if you're spraying biocide up on a roof and it's windy, it's just going to take it all the way down the street.
Yeah.
And it's not necessarily going to kill everything in its path, but it's not going to be good for it. You know what I mean?
yeah. The next door neighbour's pond.
Yeah. You've got to just be in control of where your products are going. Someone asked a question. Bee's Knees says, "Could you please ask Jo what her biggest/best paid job has been payment-wise, if that's not too much of a personal question?" Probably. Is that something you don't want to discuss? Happy, you don't have to answer these sorts of questions if you don't want to.
Well, I've done a job over 2 days. My days are 9:30 till 2:30. It was a large patio area, huge driveway, cobbled stones, lovely place I was working. So I thought, right, this is 2 days work. And I put that in at 1,700.
Mhm.
And we was done a lot earlier than what I thought. We got it done quite quick, and I thought, oh my God, like, felt like maybe I've overpriced it. But the customer was so happy with the work. I made sure that it was areas that had never been touched. Really. Oh yeah, we done a car park as well, didn't we? We done
Car showroom.
we done a car showroom. That's right.
Is that your partner with you now?
She's earwigging.
Does she want to come in and say hi or not?
No.
No.
She doesn't even go on my videos. You see when I do my Instagram.
Yeah.
So I mainly took Jordan on to mainly just be my little gopher. She hates it that I call her that. So I'm like, right, I need the rinse, and she's like running over with the rinse, and I'm like, right, I need the broom, and she runs over with the broom, and I'm like, right, get a video of that, and she runs over and gets her video, and
Not that one. What you doing? Put it back. Get the other one.
and sometimes I feel like I'm being really bossy.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm really bossy, but then I think I have to give her loads of things to do, because once I've got my ear defenders on and I'm blasting away, I don't know if she's going to be twiddling her fingers or wondering what to do. So I'm like, right, sweep that up, grab that hose for me in 10 minutes, bring the X-Jet down, like mix the hypo, add the boost, so I'm all a bit like that. And then she just sort of does it all. I think it works quite well.
Yeah.
Because she runs around like a blue-ass fly.
Yeah.
And I'm just...
Can you speak on that thing you said about pricing earlier when you said you thought you'd overcharged? Can you expand on that a little bit? Because I think a lot of people are not very confident in their pricing.
Yeah, so I go by square meter. I had that in my head. So whenever I get straight on Google Earth, I get the customer to send me any pictures if I can't get there myself and have a quick look. If it's a bigger job like that one I just said, then I'm there, I'm having a good look. Checking the water pressure myself. Sometimes I'll say to the customer, send me over a couple of pictures, and can you just do a quick video of the tap?
Yeah, I do that as well.
Let's see.
Yeah.
Because I can't get everywhere. I wouldn't be able to get to all the jobs. But go on Google Earth, nice zoom in, measure it all out, have in my head, okay, that's my square meter, that's the job size. Then I take into account other factors, drainage, water pressure, how long is this going to take, how much chemical am I going to, is it rust there, is there other things, is it just hypo and boost? And then I sort of go with my price, and I used to go too low, and not too low, but not get it right.
You knew you were being cheap.
Yeah, and I thought I'm not doing that again for that price.
Yeah.
Because you think no. And there was a job that we was on about a year ago, me and Jordan, and as we were cleaning, she was like, well, what are we getting for this one? And I sort of said, and she was like, are you joking? And I was like, well, maybe you need to help me with these quotes then. And so we kind of like come together now. We look at them. I have a figure in my head, and then I say, right, this is a square meter. I give her the phone. She has a look, and then she has a figure, and we're always now about the same.
That's a brilliant way of doing it, is to be able to bounce off someone else like that. I did that with my brother, because my brother would be like, is that all you're charging? What are you doing? Like, you're giving it away at that price.
Yeah.
Like, you're even making money today. And I'm like, yeah, but she's a nice customer, and it's like she's an old lady, and it's like
I never quote to their face.
It's business.
I never say it to their face anymore.
Yeah, same.
Because if I say it to their face, I am the sort of person that will try and do them a favour, when actually I'm doing them a favour by doing them a really good service that they might not get from someone else. They're already getting the favour. So I do not quote to face now. I set if I'm doing 2 or 3 jobs a day, sort of smallish jobs, I set myself a target of what I want to earn that day, and I kind of work my diary around that when I'm putting it in.
Yeah.
Which I'll say it out loud. If I'm going 2 or 3 jobs, I want to earn about £700.
Brilliant.
So that's my daily target. And I work from 9:30 till 2:30.
That is a very, very healthy daily target. If you're working within those parameters of those hours, and you've got 2 staff members, this is
what I say to the customer. I say, you've got 2 workers. We should take maybe around this time, but could be a bit longer. If I'm going back to sand, I'll always say the job will be done over 2 days. So then they know that I'm going and I'm coming back.
Yep.
And more time there. Unless obviously it's a scorching day, I can go and do another job and then flip back and get it sanded.
I saw you did that on Instagram the other day. I was like, you're doing a patio, and then while that was drying, you started on the drive, and then you're quickly nipping off to do another job while the drive was drying, so that you can come back and resand. I was like, gosh,
yeah, and came back, and I was still home by 3 o'clock.
It's crazy, it's brilliant.
I don't know, but you get in and you're just like,
yeah,
not stopped.
Yeah,
I just don't stop. And a lot of people say to me, like, a lot of the customers say, oh, if I had a couple of blokes out there, they'd be nipping for a cigarette, they'd be in the van having a sandwich. They'd be doing it. Me and George, we know we've got to be at the school at 2:30.
Mm-hmm.
We've got to be out of where we are. So I will stress. I will run around. I don't walk to the van. I am skipping to the van.
Yeah.
I'm getting things, and we just get it done quite quick together. The odd time I'll say, right, take the car, follow in the van, take the car just in case this one will catch us out.
It's a good
We
way of
might be
doing it.
done in time.
Yeah.
And then we're done by 1:30, and I think, didn't even need the car.
Yeah.
Let's go home.
Since you quote all your jobs off Google Earth, do you know about the historical imagery on Google Earth?
No, but if you're referring to when you have a look and there's not a garden patio there or something like that, that's really annoying.
Yeah.
Because I had a job recently that I needed to, it was a big car park, and I went on Google Earth and it wasn't there. And I was like, well, how long's this place been there? And he was like, oh, it's only been 2 years. And I was like, it's still a building. It's not even built on Google Earth. Like, so I had to go there to take a look at it, which I needed to anyway, but I kind of wanted to see what I was going to see.
Yeah. So you
Before I got
might
there.
my stream or my audio might start to lag a little bit now. It always does when I open Google Earth. But if you're looking on Google Earth and the image of whatever you're looking at is terrible, there's a little button. I don't know if you can see the live stream at the minute.
No, it's gone off, but mine's quite delayed.
Okay. I'll do it anyway because you'll probably catch up in a sec. There's a little button at the top called Activate Historical Imagery, and if you click on that, you can get the different images that have been taken over the years and find one that looks better. So
Right, what did you say it's called? The little button at the top?
Historical imagery. And
Cool.
so you can cycle back through all the different satellite imagery that's been taken every year. And you might find that shadow isn't in the back garden anymore, so you can get a clearer view of the garden, for example.
Oh, okay. Or that big van isn't parked right in front of the driveway
Yeah.
that you're trying to look at.
Yeah. So it doesn't help
Historical imagery.
it doesn't help necessarily for like Google Street View, because I haven't seen much difference with Google Street View. But if you're looking at stuff from above, it's a really good way of doing it.
Oh, I'll do that. I'll have a look at that. So yeah, I think with quoting, I think don't ever. I sort of trust my quotes now. Me and Jordan, we talk about it. We come to a figure. We put it in. If the customer can't meet that, I'm not going, okay, I'll knock £100 off, or I'll knock that off. My price is my price.
It's a really strong position to be in, that is. When you've got a pricing structure, if you didn't have a structure, you probably wouldn't be able to do that so much, but because you've got a way of quoting, you measure it, and then you've got your price per square metre, there's not really any room for negotiation, is there?
Yeah, that's it. And I think the customer will then go away and think about it, and then sometimes about a month later I'll go, actually, could we go ahead with that quote now? Because they've worked it out, or whatever they've done, or maybe they've got another quote somewhere else, or they've carried on watching my work and saying, well, hold on a minute, this is worth the money because she's going to do a good job.
I think that confidence does come with time. And I think when you're starting off in the beginning and you're scratching around for work, I think there is a lot more room for negotiation. But once you've got like a customer base that's coming back to you and you're pretty busy, you feel like, I don't need to drop my prices, like I'm doing all right.
Yeah. I do. I saw you've mentioned recently that you don't agree with doing offers or discounts, or for you personally. I think it was yours. I saw it on. Now I don't really do offers unless it's coming out of the winter, to start to get the diary filled up, sort of from about February.
Yeah.
I think, right, okay, I'm going to go. If you get a job in by March 31st, you're going to get a discount. I kind of saw what you were saying, because you were saying, how does the customer know what price you would have put that in anyway? Was it you that was saying that? Yeah. How does it, so you're kind of saying a price, but how does the customer know what price that would have been anyway? So it's sort of like a
arbitrary
throwaway discount.
Yeah.
But but it works for me. And I think I'll go by, okay, I'm going to do that driveway. It's a single car driveway, however long it's going to take. I would normally charge, let's just say, 240, but I'll do it for 190. I get my sand for £2.61, as we've already said,
Ridiculous.
for a bag of sand.
Ridiculous.
So if it's not even in bad condition, then I'm not even going to be using much chemical at all, and I'm probably going to use £6 fuel, if that, on that job.
Yeah.
So, and it's February. I'm quieter.
Yeah.
I want to get the diary filled up coming into the March, April, May really busy time. So that February really done me well doing that, because they were like, oh, why are you doing your discount? I was going to do it in April, but why are you doing your discount? Can I do it? Can I book you in now?
Yeah.
And they know, because then they know that I've done it the year before. So they know the year before I priced it at 260,
right.
and now I'm pricing it at 220. So they're like, oh yeah, book me in now.
Yeah. So just to clarify, with regards to the discount, you are right in saying that my idea is like, if you've not got set prices, if I could tell my customers, okay, to clear any gutter, it's going to be £90 for your gutter clearing. If that was like a regular set price, and then for these months, I'm going to be offering a 15% discount for anyone who books in December, January, February. That sort of makes sense, because you've got your set price and the customer knows you've got your set price, and so 15% off of that is like it's guaranteed. But a lot of people, when they get quiet, they'll just say 15% off all services, and you could be charging just as much, but you go in a little bit higher to make up the 15%.
They don't know if they're getting the discount at all.
So half the time, I think it's absolute bollocks, the way a lot of people do it.
Yeah.
But also, I think that I've ran discounts in the past as well. Like I've done discounts for like, if you get booked in now for your Christmas lights ahead of the rush, I'll give you like a 10% discount or whatever. So I have done them in the past. The other thing that makes me feel a bit weird about discounts is that I'm offering a discount for March, and then on the 1st of April, because I've got limited availability, on the 1st of April, I can't fit you in until then, or someone gets in touch on the 1st of April and just misses the discount, but they saw it, but they're not eligible anymore because it's outside of the period. I just feel really bad for that person.
Yeah. Yeah, it's how I word it. See, I'll say like, oh, sorry, the discount's run out now, but don't worry, I'll look after you. I'll knock off. This is the price, and I'll knock off that.
Yeah.
Sorry, you missed out, or something like that, or it's as it's you, and you've been with me for the last 3 years. I'm going to give you the discount, so I'll do it for 180 instead of 210, and then I think I'm losing £30, but actually I'm making that person happy, and they're going to come back to me.
Yeah, that's a good way of doing it. I've never said stuff like that. I've never said like, "Oh, don't worry, I'll look after you," or like, "As it's you, we'll sort it out." I've never said that, but
I just think it makes them feel special.
It does, yeah.
It makes them think, "Oh, Jess, do you know what? Thank," and then they're like, "Thank you so much." And you think,
I'm gonna have to start doing that, because
you've got 2 or 3.
A lot of the time, I do go like above and beyond for the customer without mentioning it, without saying anything. I'll just sort of do stuff, and maybe I should big it up a little bit and say like, because it's you, we've done this as well, and we've done this. We wouldn't normally do that for the other customers, you know. Yeah,
make them feel special. One of the other things I do when I go to their homes as well is I always compliment something around.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I really love how you've done that water feature. That looks so good.
Yeah.
And they love it. They you see them go, oh wow, yes, I thought of that, because and it just you just make them like, you're just complimenting their garden. Or
in one of my early quoting videos, probably is like the 4th video on my channel or something. That was part of the quoting strategy, is when you going round in person and looking at someone's property, it's not only being like smart and presentable and smile on your face and good to meet you, maybe shake their hand or something, but it's also like, and it can't be bullshit either. You've got to actually find something that you like, maybe even their dog. you love dogs,
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
you love the colour that they've gone for on the rattan or something like that. Like, oh, where'd you get that? Because we're after something like that. Or they've got a pond, and have you got fish in that pond? No way. And like getting excited about a choice
People
that
love
they've
talking
made.
about themselves, don't
Yeah,
they? Or what they've got, or how
yeah,
they come up with that idea. And so I think it's to have a look and actually compliment something there. It just draws them to you that little bit more.
yeah.
I have a little lanyard as well, which is part of my uniform. I wear this every
I was going
day.
to ask you about that.
So I got it mainly because I thought when I'm knocking on, going to look at a quote of a job, and it's 70-year-old lady that answers the door, and you don't know about cold caller, like people, you don't, in this industry, like this day and age, anyone could be knocking at your door. And although I've got my Joe's Jets hat on, they might not capture that at first. So I say, oh, it's Joe's Jets, I'm just here about the quote. And they're
Yeah,
like, oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Straight away, I'm introducing myself and showing the lanyard. And then on the back, once I've done the job, and and they're literally, when I'm chatting away to them and they're really happy, do you want to leave me a review? And they're like, oh, yeah, if you tap your phone on there, and they tap their phone, it comes straight up on Google, and they pop it in there and then.
okay. I need to get one of them.
Sorry?
I need to get one of them, because that. Do you find that do you find that you get a lot of reviews because you do that?
Well, when I first started using it, yes. And now I'm a little bit, I think, because I've got that 2:30 that I need to be out of the job. So I kind of forget now to always go, oh, and if you tap here and sort of chat to them about it. But if I've got sort of like an earlier finish and I remember, then they're saying, oh, where are you? This is good. Then I'm like, yeah, just tap there.
Yeah.
It comes up on your phone.
I've been finding
I
on
just like
Facebook recently, I don't know why, but I'm sending people the link to my Facebook page, and they don't get the reviews tab to be able to leave me a review on Facebook. So they always end up leaving me like a comment on the post or something.
Oh, it's so annoying. I get that all the time. And they're like, oh, I left you a good review. And I think, no, you didn't. You just wrote on the picture how amazing I was.
Yeah.
You didn't leave me a review.
Very frustrating, that is.
Yeah, that is. And I think as well, where I think a lot of my customers see me on Facebook, and then people say, oh, I'll leave you a review. And then I think, oh, do I want it on Facebook or do I want it on Google? So I'm like, yeah, you can leave it on Facebook or Google or both if you feel really happy.
I say that as well, yeah. And they do often leave it on both.
Yeah, I don't think I've got many Google reviews. I think probably about 30. Probably should push it really. And people say they're going to do a review, but unless you sort of follow up, now and again I post on my Facebook page, anyone that's used Joe's Jet services recently, if you could and would kindly pop a review, it would
That's a
make me
good
very
idea.
happy.
I've thought about doing that, but I wasn't sure whether it would actually land with people and whether it was worth posting or not. Never sure.
The good thing about doing that is then lots of people write on that post as well.
Yeah.
Oh, I will do. You've been amazing. You've done this. And then somebody else will write, oh, yeah, and you've done it. And it just sort of draws, that post then stays in the algorithm, whatever it's called, for a bit longer, and everyone sort of sees.
That's a good idea. Yeah, I didn't think of that. Fred says, do you work 5 days a week, no days off, or no days off during peak season?
Yeah, 5 days a week.
I was talking to
Only weekends off.
Lee from H2O the other day. He says he's not going to have a day off now for the next 6 weeks. I'm like, what are you doing to yourself?
What and working weekends?
Yeah.
Yeah, no. I think if I didn't have 3 children, then I could just go absolutely flat out, and even my days would be longer. Sometimes when we have to finish at 2:30, I think probably could have done 2 more jobs.
Yeah.
But then at the same time, I think I didn't set up this business to do that.
Yeah.
I would have been so happy if I knew that setting up this business was going to earn me £200 a day. I would have been happy with that.
Yeah.
But when now I've obviously reinvest, which is a big, I reinvest in the business all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I'm always thinking, what else can I buy? What can I do? Adding on things.
Here's a question for you. Do you think that when is it do you think there's ever a time to stop reinvesting? So other than maintenance, maintaining your gear, do you think at any point you'll be satisfied with your setup and you'll no longer be spending money on the setup?
I hope so.
Or is there always going to be that list of items that you think you need to buy?
Yeah, I think like I already know what I want to get next. And last year I had things that I wanted to get last year. So I kind of know what I want to get.
So is that list always growing then?
It's not necessarily growing. It's just a couple of things I think, right, like I thought, right, I need to get a new mudsucker. That was on my mind. And until I was in a situation where I thought, no, this one isn't long enough to move the location of the mud from where it is to where I want it. Right, I've got to get another one now. And then I'll go and do it. So it gives me that sort of kick up the bum. It's a little reminder when I use something that actually I need to do that.
Yeah.
At the moment, I'm still using a battery operated leaf blower.
Yeah.
And it lasts me about half an hour and I have to recharge it. Probably not even half an hour actually, but the way I quickly go over sanding jobs, I can do 3 jobs with it.
Yeah.
Fine. But I think I want the petrol one. I'm always thinking about what I want to get next.
This is like an internal dilemma of mine, is that, okay, once you've got the best, fanciest, most reliable equipment, when do I stop spending money? Other than maintaining that equipment, when do I stop buying stuff? Because I feel like in this industry, you could just carry on. You could just keep buying stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, you could. I already think, should I get another flat surface cleaner? I've already got 2. But I think, should I get a 14-inch one? I've got an 18-inch and a 24-inch, and I don't really use the 24-inch one now. Now I've got the 18-inch one. But I think I'd use that one more when I up my machine to more of a flow. Although it's still good on patios and stuff. I just love the space now in the van. Well, I'm running out of space because I'm still filling it. But when I have my 24-inch flat surface cleaner in there, I have the base of it on the floor, the handle going up over my tanks. So that's more floor space that I've lost.
Yeah.
I can't have it sort of clipped on the side of the van because I've got the twin doors and I use both sides.
Yeah.
It won't go into my pole holder at the top. I don't want to have to take the handle apart and position and do all that every time I want to set it up.
It's like a toss-up between, is this money that I'm going to spend on this next thing going to save me enough time to justify buying it, or is it going to make my life easier enough to justify buying it?
I just always panic as well and think I've got to have a second of everything because if that breaks, I need that, or just sort of 2 of everything. That's what I'm kind of panicking about now. I'm even thinking, should I get another X-Jet? But so I've got 2.
Yeah.
But because when Jordan's working around the back and I'm working at the front, we can.
Yeah. How often are you going to be both spraying chemical at the same time, though? Probably not very often.
Yeah.
Liam says, thank you for all the subscriptions tonight, by the way. I have noticed that your memberships have been popping up, but we've been sort of mid-conversation, so I've not called them out, but I do appreciate everyone. Thank you. Liam says, do you ever plan to sell the business one day?
No.
It's your baby.
I think, yeah, it's my baby. And I think if he doesn't make it as a footballer, which is what he wants to do, I'm going to be saying to him, don't go and work in retail, slugging your gut, doing all this shift work, never having Christmas off, never doing it. Get out there, take the van, Joe's Jetson's son, and go and earn some good money.
There's nothing like it. I was talking to Jakey today, and the sun was out, and we were just, after we grabbed lunch, I was like, we've got this saying, because there's an Australian YouTuber, he's like, where would you rather be, mate? And we say it all the time. It's like, where would you rather be? Out in the sun, chilling. Like, yes, we're working hard and stuff, but it's fun work. And especially,
you're working for yourself. So I think when you're working for yourself, I think you naturally work harder and smarter.
Yeah. Did you find that you started enjoying more work when you? So is it Jordan, your wife?
Yeah.
When you started working with Jordan, did you find that work was happier or like more tolerable, or was it? Did you have better days?
I've got to be careful now because she's listening.
Because I thought before I thought I'm quite happy on my own. I don't need an employee. Like
Yeah.
I'm doing the thing. I'm doing what I'm doing, and I'm getting on all right. But after,
I really enjoyed that about work. I did like just going, plodding to just doing it my own way, not having anyone to talk to, just in my own world. The way I saw it was with a big water gun, just getting on with it. But as the business has grown, I naturally do need, if I want to do those 3 jobs in that 4 or 5 hour window that I've got, then I need it to be sped up. And it's actually enjoyable for me to get in the van after a job, like you and Jake, you chat, oh, that one's all right, wasn't it? Yeah, we got that done. Oh, that was a bit of a nightmare. But, and you kind of talk about it and then get paid off to the next one.
because
I tell you
occasionally,
what I have just got recently.
oh, go on.
I've just got one of the card readers.
Oh, nice. The like a sum up.
Do you use those?
Yeah. I've got a sum
Oh
up.
my
Sum
god,
up
what a
one.
godsend!
Which one did you get?
The sum up, are they all just a sum up? I don't know.
No, that's a similar one to what I've got. Have you got the receipt printer out the top as well?
No,
You just got the flat one.
Yeah, mine sends the receipt straight to the customer's email or their phone number, whichever one you select.
That's cool. Oh yeah.
I love it. The amount of time I would spend, I'd come home, I'd think, right, I've got to write that invoice up now. Got to send that off, and I'd come home and I'd sit here, and then the kids would come in the room and they want to tell me what they've done at school, and I was just into the invoicing and really checking it, making sure I've got it all right, sending it off, and then you waiting, chasing payments. If you haven't 3, 4, 5 days later, and you think they still haven't paid me for that job I've done the other day. I just like to get paid and then forget about it and go on to the next one. I don't want to be. Just a reminder.
Yeah.
Especially
on Windows as well.
Windows is
a full window cleaning round.
I hate them. That's one of the reasons why I hate them. I have to remind people to pay that £20, and I think I haven't got time to chase you for £20. I'd rather drop you as a window clean and go and do a service for somebody else than have to embarrass myself and you and chase for money.
Yeah.
Now I've got that. They're like, oh yeah, just send over the invoice. I'm like, well, actually, I've got a card reader, and I think it is a charge on it, but only like 1.69%.
Yeah, on every transaction, and it's like the only issue with the card reader that
I know
I've
it will
found,
add up.
and you can charge it in your van with your USB, so you can just keep it in your van all the time. The only thing I found with that is that it's got a max. You can't take payments over £1,000, but I mean, how often are you going to do that, really?
Yeah, I don't even think I would do that for over £1,000. I think I would invoice and
yeah.
But
it's nice because the customers, I love this. I love when customers ask me this, because I've got to the point now where I can be so flexible. They'll say, "How do you want paying? Do you want cash?" And I'm like, I honestly don't mind how you pay. You can pay however you like. You could do a check, bank transfer, cash. I've got a card reader in the van. Do it however you like, and that. It's quite reassuring for the customer to know, like, you're not just there after the money. I just say, like, as long as you pay within the next 7 days, I don't care how you pay, really.
Yeah.
And also,
you can do 7 days. I'm like the following day.
Yeah, ideally.
Send me the money.
Yeah, ideally.
Because I don't want to chase it. I don't want them to forget. And I'm one of those people. If someone comes to my house and they do a service, I'm literally like, whoa, give me your details. Let me pay you.
Yeah.
I don't want them to walk out the door and not be paid.
And also, the question I've been having quite a lot recently is, can you do it cheaper for cash? And
that's annoying.
What I've been telling people is, look, a lot of tradespeople will do it cheaper for cash, but I'm remortgaging next year. I've just got an employee. Everything goes through the books. You get It makes no difference whether you pay me in cash or not. And most people are just
when you want to show your accounts and you need. I mean, when they pay cash, sometimes it's nice having cash, but sometimes I think, no, I need the money in the bank.
Yeah.
Because otherwise I've got to go to the bank now with all this cash.
Yeah. It's more of an effort. Costs me more money to take it in cash than it does to have it in.
But then it's good to still keep the cash alive, but the amount of places that have stopped taking it, and it just becomes annoying having a lot of cash and then having to go to the bank. And
How do you do your accounts? Have you got like a spreadsheet, or have you got like an app that you use to keep track of everything?
my accounts, no, I've just got an accountant, so I don't deal with any of that. I literally put everything in order in my folder, which is due to be sent off. I used to print off all my invoices as well, but I don't now. And I just have expenses. Everything goes in there, all my bank statements. And then it's all in month order, so I don't know if that helps my accountant, but
So do you pay a set amount every year to have them go through all that? Because I'm doing I'm doing all my receipts
pay.
myself. I've got a spreadsheet where I put in all of my income, all of my expenses, and then I've got my folder of receipts as well. So I'm basically doing. I think I'm probably doing all the hard work in inputting all that information.
Right.
And then they work out how much tax I've got to pay. But it sounds like you're handing just everything over to them, and they're having to do all the hard work.
So I pay, I think the last one was £475, which someone told me that's a lot.
If they're doing all the work, I think I paid like 350 last year just for the accountancy
When you say
fees.
all the work, so it's all in order, and it's in month order. It's got all my receipts, all my bank statements, and I highlight all my bank statements, anything business related. Because I've got the two bank, I've got the business account bank, and I have my personal bank. But sometimes I'll go on Amazon and buy something for the business, like a hose connector, and then I'll put it on my personal, and I think, oh.
Yeah.
So I highlight, and I think I still have my business insurance come out of my personal account, because I think I've got to ring them to get it changed over to the business account. And I didn't have the business account set up at first.
I'm trying to think now, does it even need to be inputted anywhere? All those receipts and stuff, as long as they're on your bank statements, does it need to be on a computer? Or
I don't know.
Or if they've got your bank statements, surely that's enough, isn't it? As long as you've got the receipts to match up with those transactions, it doesn't need to be input anywhere.
This is what I said to I contacted my accountant last week, because naturally, so I keep receipts for fuel, sand, anything I keep all my receipts. But a lot of the time when you're buying things online, even from pressure washing companies or sealant and stuff like that, you get emailed the receipt. And then what I was doing was buying ink cartridges every month, printing it all off and putting it in my folder to send off. And for the last sort of 2 or 3 months, I've not been printing my emails. I've still kept them all there, all my receipts, but I haven't been printing. And now I'm like, oh no, it's that time of year now. I need to send all my accounts off, because I like to do it in April, so I know what I owe come January. I like to get it all sent off as soon as possible. And then I haven't printed all them receipts off. They're all in my email. So I contacted my accountant and said to her, do I actually need to print all of them receipts? I've got all my fuel ones. I said, I've highlighted it all on my bank statements. I've got the receipts. She said, as long as you've got the receipts, then if I need to see any, then I would just give you a message and say, what was this? Or if there's anything unsure.
You just got to keep them for 7 years, haven't you?
Yeah, so they're all on my email. So I probably should just print them all off. But my emails have got.
As long as you got them and they're saved and they're secure.
The good thing about the email now, which I hated it at first, they've changed it all. So I don't know if yours has changed on your email, your Outlook, but you've got like different. I can't explain it. Different categories of emails. So when it comes through, if it's an invoice, it comes through on a different part. Have you seen it?
No, I don't think so.
It doesn't go into my primary box anymore. Okay. It comes through as like with a little shopping trolley.
Oh, right.
At the top.
No.
It's just something that's been happening with my emails, and it really annoyed me when it first happened, because I thought, I've got to go into all these different boxes and I was missing emails. But actually it's quite helpful, because all my receipts and invoices that people have sent me for products that I bought are actually all there in one folder.
Oh, so it auto does it. I have to move mine across into different folders every month.
But I think I might have to print them, like you say, that 7 year keeping them. I probably should print them, but it's just time, paper, ink. a lot of receipts.
Do you plan on taking on any more employees, or are you quite happy going the way you're going?
I want to. I keep saying I want to when we get the second van. I want to because I want somebody else to go out and do gutters and windows for me. My mum keeps saying, "Oh, when Dad wants to retire or come off the roofing," because my dad's still a roofer, he'll do a day or two a week and go out and do. And I think, oh yeah, that'd be good. He's 60 now, but he's a fit man, very active still, and so I think, oh, he would probably go and do the gutters for me, and then I haven't got to worry about that. But then I think, do I want my mum ringing me? Dad can't work tomorrow.
Yeah.
Because Mum, I don't employ you. I think I'd fall out.
Yeah.
I think mixing family and business. But I think for me, I can't just take on anyone. It's got to be someone that I trust fully with the business that I've built up. I would hate to get a bad review. It would destroy me if somebody got me a bad review.
That's the challenge of expanding, is no one is going to care about your business as much as you do.
Exactly.
No one's going to be as reliable as you are. There's all these downsides to taking on an employee. But there's a few upsides that could potentially change your business and change your life. And they're giving you the freedom to step away from the tools potentially on certain days. That's what I'd like. I'd love to have an extra 1 or 2 days in the week where I can send Jakey out to do some work, and I can literally step off the tools and I can focus on admin. I can do some video editing. I can do other stuff. But we're in a bit of a sticky spot at the minute because he's 19 and he can't get insured on a van. And the goal was for him to train up for like 6 to 12 months and then go out on his own with his own full setup. I'd buy him a van, I'd buy him a whole setup, but it's just not feasible at the minute. It's like $6,000 for his insurance. It's just ridiculous.
Wow. Well, that's if he's added onto yours. Or would you not do it like that?
Onto the business insurance. Yeah, I think we haven't tried it. How did we do it? I think he just got a quote on a little van, personal quote for business use, and then I tried to do it through Howden's, I think, through the business, and they just said, look, because of his age, because of his limited driving experience, any commercial vehicle is going to be ridiculous. They will insure him, but the price you pay will be just insane.
Right.
Get him a trailer.
I've had people say, can I give him a day's work, and they go out and do the windows and stuff, and I would love that. But I think because I've only got that van at the moment and I really try and look after my stuff, I wouldn't want somebody just taking a corner like it's on rails and throwing my everything to the left and to the right at every bend. So I don't really trust people. But if I found somebody that was reliable and I could trust, and that could come out and do a few days with me, learn how I do it, well, a few weeks probably, learn how I do things, learn my standards, I'd be amazing.
Yeah, it's tricky. It's a huge bottleneck.
I don't want someone just throwing my lance down. Or
No.
I'll give Jordan enough sticks. She'd manoeuvre out of the gate with my flat surface cleaner, and I hear my wheel dink the wall, and I'm like, I heard that. I heard that, and I'm like, you're a year in. She says, if you tell me I'm a year in one more time.
You're just in the back garden, you take your headphones off. What was that? Was that my wheel?
I'm always throwing figures at her.
It's the biggest bottleneck of most businesses. It's just hiring good staff, and it's very scary. And I never wanted to do it. I was quite happy on my own. And then I worked a couple of days. I had help from my brother, and then I had help from another lad who wanted to set up. And realising the time saving, and you can have more fun at work because you've got someone to bounce off of. The less strain on your body because you're not having to hoik everything out of the van every single time yourself. Like while you're chatting to the customer, they can be packing the van away. there's so much benefit of having an
Oh, it
employee.
speeds it up so much.
Yeah.
Because I am a talker, so when the customer comes out to talk to me, naturally I'm just chatting away. And before I'd think, oh, I've got to get set up. Or like, I'm talking,
So
but I've
you're
got to get set up now.
you're rushing the customer to shut up so you can carry on.
Yeah, or I wouldn't rush the customer, and I then think, oh, now I've got to set everything up, and I've just been stood there talking for 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Now I'm not going to be able to do everything I wanted to do. So it's so good having Jord, because she's straight out the van, connecting it all. I'm saying hello to the customer, showing them where I'm starting.
And having that
it just works
synergy,
really well.
having the synergy between you where you both know your job without even talking to each other, you both just crack on and know what to do. It's brilliant, isn't it?
That's what I say to Jord. When we get to jobs and we don't even talk until we get back in the van, she just knows.
Yeah.
I'll go rinse, and she's just already holding it out for me.
Yeah.
She's pulling the hose behind me, and I'm like, I'm like, chemical. She's like, they're there by your foot. I'm like, oh, thanks.
Yeah.
She just knows now. So yeah, I think at first I was thinking, oh, I've got to pay Jord now. I'm gonna be going out on money, really having to, but you're not, because it speeds it up so much.
Yeah, you can. There's no way you'd be doing like 3 jobs a day, just you on
And
your
not
own.
only that, but I wouldn't even be able to get the footage that she gets.
Yeah.
Because I originally took her on to basically be my cameraman. I was like, I just need someone to come along and just get some good footage and show what I'm doing. And so pretty much that's her job, be the cameraman. She doesn't want to be in the videos anyway. So every now and then just get a video if you see something looks good.
Yeah.
Maybe I should tell her she's got to make my videos on social media as well, and then
Clip them
give her
together.
a bit more job.
Fred asks, how old are you, Jake? I am just turned 33 last month. Wait, what month are we in? Yeah, last month.
Same as Jord. She's 33. How old am I?
I didn't ask.
Go on, let him go.
Go on, have a guess.
No, that you're trying to trap me there. There's no way I'm going to guess your age.
Well, this is the other thing. I think, should I take someone else on? Am I still going to be doing this in 10 years' time? I started too late. I wish I started earlier.
Tell me how old you are then.
I'm 40 next year.
No, you're not. You look younger.
You got to say
that.
that now.
No. I swear, you look younger than me.
No, I'm 38. So I'm 39 in August. And that's why I think I wish I started this sooner.
Yeah, I get that feeling as well. I wish I'd have started when I was like straight out of school. That what this business could be now. That's why I admire people that come into my Discord channel and stuff and say like, I'm 15 years old, I'm just starting. I'm like, yeah, go for it. Like seriously, if you can get ahead of all the other lads in your class, who else at school has started thinking about running their own business? No one. Like if you can...
I wouldn't have even done it. I wouldn't have even done it when I was at school.
No.
I would have thought it's too hard. I mean, it is hard work. You've got to be committed. You've got to put in the effort, but it's so much more rewarding.
If you can, like, as soon as you start driving, if you can get a vehicle that's going to allow you to like fit a bit of kit in the back, it's probably not going to be a van, but if you can get something that you can
fit a lawnmower.
Yeah.
Like cutting grass, I would have started something like that.
Yeah. And it's not easy, but it's so doable. And the fact that I had a mortgage, I had 2 kids, I've got a dog, I've got a family to feed, and the fact that I can do it on no budget. I spent 400 quid to get into this business, and what we're doing now is like it's going really well, super successful. If I hadn't have done that, if I hadn't have taken that plunge, like I'd have still been working in an office being miserable. Like
I
can't believe I didn't know it was an option sooner.
But then I think as well, you've got to get life experience. I think you've got to do things. You've got to, like, Facebook and social media wasn't around when I just left school. Most of my business comes from there. I wouldn't have done door knocking and things like that. And then I think when I left school at 16, I started working at McDonald's because it was the closest working building to my house, round the corner. So I started there. By early 20s, I was a store manager of McDonald's. And then I was running Gatwick drive-through, a multi-million-pound restaurant, and had 200-300 crew members working for me, slugging in the shifts, doing all the hard work. And I think when you work somewhere, like, people think, oh, it's just McDonald's. But the training that McDonald's put you through to become a manager, the customer service courses that you have to do, the service, the quality, the cleanliness, all the things you have to do, it makes you more...
it's all life experience, isn't it? That
and I would notice things. I could walk into a restaurant and I would notice things that nobody else would look at. I'd think, oh, that's a dusty vent up there.
Yeah.
Oh, that light's flickering. I'd change that bulb. Or, cool, them curbs outside have got tyre marks on. I'd paint them black.
But also, any position that puts you in customer facing is... I think everyone should do at least a year of retail, because it sets you up for life. That does. Being in a service position where you're either on a till or you're providing customer service in any way, shape or form, it gives you the confidence to talk to people.
Yeah.
And I think
definitely.
that's...
And when you really don't want to smile at that customer, but you have to because you're in retail and you have no choice, it makes you sort of cope with conflict a bit better.
Yeah.
Because you have to channel it. You have to...
Yeah, and like complaints and stuff as well. Like, even though it's nothing to do with you, you have to act as if you care and you're concerned and you're going to resolve this complaint for this customer. And like, I did my first proper retail was I went Sports Direct. I did like 7 years at Aldi, becoming like an assistant manager, and then I was a store manager at Maplin. So I've done a lot of retail, and I really think that has molded me into someone who is a good salesman. I'm good in front of customers. I'm really good at dealing with any sort of conflict and stuff like that. And I always like look down on those years as like that was like some of the worst times of my life, but also
it's molded you as to who you are now, and it's made you successful in your business from all those little things that you've learned along the way. Yeah,
I think it's definitely necessary.
I think that's something we've got in common then. Maybe that's why we're doing well. I mean,
maybe
when you've worked in retail, not saying everyone's got to go work in retail before they be a pressure washer, but you realise how different the jobs are, and you appreciate what you do more now. Whereas if I started out with this, maybe I wouldn't appreciate it as much as I do now.
Yeah, it's gratitude as well. It definitely is. If you look at like a labourer that's been on a building site, for example, from when they were 16 or whatever, if you imagine if they've always been in that trade, they're potentially going to be this like grumpy, bitter person at the end of it, because they've always been in that environment. They've always dealt with other labourers and other contractors and stuff, and they've just sort of become sort of tarnished by that environment. Whereas when you come from doing something that you've been doing something for a long time in a totally different industry, and then you realise...
Then you find a better way.
Yeah, you realise there's another option. You just feel like gratitude that, like, I'm so glad I went through all that to get to the position that I'm in now. And just going from working from someone else to going self-employed and having that freedom to make your own decision and to point your life in a very specific direction, that alone is like life-changing. And I never knew that was possible. And so I feel very lucky.
How long have you been going?
About 3.5 years. Or I think almost 4 years now. I think. So not much longer than you, really.
Yeah.
It is. I mean, I'm counting like from day one, from buying the pressure washer and sort of doing it on the side part time, and then yeah. Should we wrap this up?
Yeah, I think I've waffled for long enough. I think I've covered. Oh, one more thing I wanted to ask you about.
Yeah, go on.
I noticed recently you were using the Pro Joint poly sweep sand.
Yeah,
What do you think of that?
I love it. They've actually contacted me last week to let me know if I've got any projects coming up, because they want to send me some more samples.
So what's the cost of it?
It's not cheap, so it's not like your £2 a bag from Travis Perkins. I'm paying about £30 a bag from my local garden centre. You've got to very much, I think you've got to set the customer's expectations in that this weed-free guarantee that it's got on there is for a new installation. So if you imagine they're just laying a driveway and then they're sweeping in this poly sweep and installing it correctly, you'd imagine that you wouldn't get weeds on that drive for a significant amount of time. But if you've just pressure washed the heads off some big chunky weeds and then you fill it with hard setting sand, those weeds are probably going to come back very quickly.
Right.
So I always frame it to the customer and say, like, similarly to sealing, it's not going to stop the weeds forever, but it's going to create that hard barrier and help prevent them coming through so quickly. I'm very selective with my words when I talk about stuff like that.
Yeah. Which you have to be even when you talk about sealant, don't you? You can't, this is going to guarantee no weeds, and because it's not.
People get in contact and they say, can you seal my drive to stop the weeds? And I'm like, no, let me rewind a little bit and talk about what's actually going to happen.
Yeah, which I kind of word it with, it's going to be an inhibitor.
Yeah.
But when the vehicles go on and the sealant can crack with the weight of the car, if the blocks are slightly apart and water, air, sunlight gets in, you're going to get weeds.
If anyone's expecting a single job to mean that they don't have to maintain the exterior of their property ever again, like that they need to manage their expectations. This is it,
because they think once they've had it sealed, they don't have to have it cleaned again, and you think the moss still grows on top of the sealant.
Yeah, and the dirt still. A sealed surface gets just as dirty as a unsealed surface does. It's just potentially easier to clean afterwards.
It's just educating the customer a bit more into thinking that you can't just seal it and all your issues will go with the drive.
Someone had a call back the other day in the Discord, and they said, I cleaned a driveway a couple of weeks back and the customers texted me saying they didn't expect weeds already. And it's like, were they happy on the day? Did you do everything you can to thoroughly clean and sterilise the surface? It's like, yes, well, you've been paid to clean the drive. You haven't been paid to maintain it. It's their job. Yeah. This is where like educating the customer comes in, because like there's a lot of people that offer like...
It's part of my conversation when I close with that customer.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, it looks lovely, doesn't it? The sand just finishes it off. Obviously, you know that the weeds will come back, some sooner than others, but now it's a blank canvas for you. You can keep on top of it a little bit better. You can spray a bit of weed killer down when they come up. I'm not licensed to do so. So you're saying it all to them that you haven't weed killed because you're not licensed to, but you've removed as much as you can between the blocks. But if they're under the blocks,
I say like this is a really good, like you say, clean like canvas now to maintain the driveway. Now that it's clean and sterilised and there's no black spots, if any weeds do come up through, just treat it with a bit of weed killer. Just keep a little bit of weed killer in your pump sprayer and just treat it every time they come up. Don't pull them out because you're going to leave the root in there. You want to the weed killer's absorbed through the leaves rather than through the
leaves. Yeah.
And you can't say much fairer than that, can you? Really?
That's it. As long as you're educating and letting them know.
Yeah.
Well, Jake, it's been really nice to speak to you and actually get to know you a bit.
And you. I think this has been potentially very valuable for a lot of people who are just starting in the industry. I think we hit a lot of different talking points, and I think it's been really good. And you've been so easy to chat to, so thank you.
Thank you.
I'm sorry if I've interrupted. There's a very slight delay on the live stream, and so I sometimes find myself speaking over people. It's not because I want to interrupt you, it's because there's a bit of a delay and I'm sometimes too quick to try and get in there.
All right, baby, it's not rude after all. Take that back, all right? I'm joking. It's been nice to chat to you, Jake, and I will keep in touch.
Yes, definitely do. Where can people find you if they want to follow you on social media and stuff?
Joe's Jets on TikTok.
I think I've only got you on I've only got you on Instagram. Joe's Jets on Instagram at the minute.
Yeah, I'm trying to grow my TikTok a bit more. I think I've just gone over maybe 1,400
Nice.
followers on there. But I'm trying to push that a bit more now. Get a lot of people sort of commenting, and the videos sort of going up to 20,000 views, some of them. So just trying to push my followers. Oh, someone's just followed me now.
I love your logo, by the way, and I love your branding. I think it's really smart and it's professional, and I think you've nailed that. I think it's really like.
I wanted to look sort of like classy. I didn't want the whole water all up the van and a pressure washer line. I didn't want all that. I just wanted it nice and simple. I love the colour grey anyway.
Yeah.
The charcoal grey. I thought that's nice for uniform. And I've got some shirts as well now from what was it called?
Chemwear?
Fire Label.
Oh.
I think it's called, the uniform. They're really good shirts because they don't stain from the hypo.
Yeah.
I've got through so many polo shirts, and they're pink after, because I just make a mess when with my X-Jet and stuff. I do get it all over me. My hat is always constantly covered.
Fingerprints on your hat. Yeah.
George's got that on hers. Yeah, it's annoying. So now I've got the new shirts, which, well, I'll say new. I've been using them ones for about a year now, and they're great because they stay nice, charcoal grey, smart, cleaner. So,
awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for joining me, and I can't believe we've done like over 3 hours, so that's really cool.
It's been good though, and I've got some little bits from you as well. So,
good.
It's definitely helped me out as well, and I'm going to speak to Darren at Pressure Washing PWS about the K1 unloader.
He's in the Discord, so feel free to hang around in the Discord at any point. I hope you find it useful.
It's really useful actually. I did go through all the different tabs. I think it's brilliant. All the different surfaces, chemicals, because you think you know it all, but you don't. So it's always good to have a little read. But I'm still getting used to it on there. When you said earlier I was calling you through Discord, I thought, how the hell is he doing that? What the hell is going on?
Yeah, it's a bit of a learning curve. A lot of people, there's not a lot of people that use Discord. It's mainly like a gaming platform, really. But it's really useful for organising a community and having different channels for different topics.
Yeah, no, really good.
Wicked.
Right.
Thank you so much.
Nice chat to you, Jake.
And you. Have a good.
Do I literally just hang up?
Yeah. Have a good evening. See you in a bit.
Cheers. See you later.
That was nice, wasn't it, guys? That was nice. That was very. God, some people are just so easy to bounce off of and talk to. Like sometimes I find myself really hunting for the next topic of conversation, just in case sort of the subject dries up or whatever. But with people like Joe, it's just so easy to just back and forth and just. I'm sorry if when I've got a guest on these live streams, it's a lot more difficult for me to keep up with the chat, obviously. And Joe couldn't see the chat from her end on this occasion, unfortunately. But maybe we'll do it again and get that set up for her. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope. Has anyone found that useful? Has that been decent? I've realised I've not had my lights on. Look, I could have been much brighter for you guys. You got it. Doesn't matter. Cozy, innit? It's all good. Really enjoyed that. Nice. You're not up to date with the chat without getting. Yeah, I know. Whatever. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will enjoyed that. Helpful starting a business. Nice. Awesome. Normally 3 hours behind the chat anyway. Stop it. If you guys haven't already, I've just this evening posted a new video on my YouTube channel. Put a lot of effort into it. If you want to learn how to seal pattern imprinted concrete, we've just put this video out where we're sealing 2 driveways that have mismatching colours, and we're trying to match them and get them to look the same. which was a bit of a challenge, but I think we nailed it. Thank you so much for watching. Jake the idiot smell. Yeah, that's yeah, I should have that on a t-shirt, shouldn't I? 1 second, Shag. What's up, Luke? Ah, brother, you know what I need. You know I deserve. Get them message chat. Yeah, Luke's after my Moja 1. I actually used the Moja 1 the other day because the Moja 2 was out of battery, so I quickly whipped out the 1. He's been chasing me for this Moja for ages. 21 months, man. 21 months we've been doing this. Well, probably more than that. If you've got time for a quick question, go on. Come on, clean time. Let's have it. For banter, just send it me, Jake. Just send it to Craig instead. After Luke has asked me in pretty much every single live stream, just end up sending it to Craig. That'd be funny. Thank you again, Joe, for joining me on the live stream. That was very cool. That's the first time I've ever spoke to her, by the way. So that's like sometimes when we have these guests on, like Jake last week, Diamond Exterior. I don't really know these people before I invite them on, and I like it that way because it means that the interaction's a little bit more organic. So I have a quick question. What's the meaning of life? I have a quick question. Go on. Wanting to start filming for YouTube, etc., but a bit nervous as to what people will think, etc. Yeah, you've got to, if you're going to start running your own business, mate, you've got to put all those feelings to one side. We were talking about it at the beginning of the stream. It's like if you're holding on to what other people are going to think about you, that could be a huge roadblock in your life. And it's something that I had to put to one side when I started mine, because as soon as you start pointing a camera at yourself and talking into a microphone and stuff, so what if people have opinions on what you're doing? 1, do you respect these people's opinions? 2, when's the last time you saw them? 3, do you really care what people think? Like, you just gotta, you know what I mean? Would be interested to get Jakey on a stream so he can tell us all the dirt on you, all the corners you cut, and how incompetent you are with the flat surface cleaner. I said to Jakey that people would want him to join as a guest. Oh no, I've spelt Joe's Jets wrong in the bottom corner there, look. Oh, that is so annoying. No, I haven't. No, she hasn't got an E in it, has she? Just J-O, Joe's Jets. Yeah, okay, that's fine. Ooh, that would have been embarrassing. And he said, "Oh, people don't want to." He said, "Like, it's like people don't want to hear what I've got to say. Like, I've got nothing to say." And I'm like, "No, I think you actually find they would be interested in hearing your insight. Not necessarily working for me, just like working in the industry, I suppose. You do need to have thick skin to post things online. Yeah. Joe's sound, I can imagine her customers love her. Yeah, she seems really nice, doesn't she? When you go to bed at night, how do you live with yourself knowing that you didn't answer every question in chat? It keeps me awake, I promise. These people don't pay your bills. Okay, thanks, Luke. Even if it was audio only, in case he was still a little uncomfortable on stream. Oh, okay, if Jakey joined and it was just audio, he didn't want to be... I think he'd be fine being in front of the camera. I point the camera at him every day, so I think he's fine. Thing is, I used to do all the YouTube videos when I was in school. Going to start with the voiceovers on Facebook. Yeah, that's the way to do it. I could never do YouTube, as my wife says I'm too sensitive. Yeah, the comments can be pretty brutal. Right, I am going. Thank you so much for watching, and enjoy the rest of your evening. Please watch my videos, please subscribe, and please click the like button underneath the stream. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful week. Goodbye. Now, these videos take a lot of time and effort to film and edit, on top of trying to run a successful pressure washing business. If you find any of the information in my videos useful, then I'd like for you to consider becoming a paid member of the channel. Circle members and above will get access to my private Discord for members only. where you can pretty much get a hold of me 24 hours a day for inspiration, technical help, marketing advice, or just a general chat. I post pictures and videos that you won't see on any of my other socials. You'll be the first to hear about giveaways, special offers and announcements, and it's just generally a nice place full of like-minded people who are all heading towards similar goals. We've got various different experience levels, we've got a few professionals in the chat as well. If you want to push your business, in my opinion, this is the place to be. We also have two other membership tiers. One is just to show a bit of support for the channel, and the other one is for boosted members, which will not only give you access to the private Discord, but also loads of high quality promotional images for you to start your business. I know what it's like when you're ready to get going but you don't have any before and after pictures to put on your leaflets. At the moment there's about 150 images that you can use for pretty much whatever you like, and my intention is to constantly update these over the next few years with all of my before and afters that have helped promote my business. Last thing before I let you go, new videos come out every Monday night at 5:30, and then I go live at 7:30 to chat to you guys and answer as many questions as possible. We do live quotes for real customers and just generally keep up to date with everything going on in the pressure washing world. Thanks for watching, back to the video.